Welcome to episode 4 or 16 of the Gilded Troll Plays Sky King's Tomb, depending on your reckoning. By Jordan reckoning, it's 16. By Twitch reckoning, it's 4. Because we had 12 sessions before we started streaming, and we found a good midpoint. They got used to the... Anyway, welcome. Hello. We're playing. When last we left off, Jordan, would you like to recap?
My notes are very sparse from last time.
Okay.
We were doing a
Because it
lot
was
of dying.
lots of dying.
It was a lot of
Essentially,
dying.
we chained like what 3 combats together or something.
Yes.
No
Yeah,
one forced us to. We found out. That was all us.
Yep.
Yeah, we just like to play the difficult way.
Also, thank you, Tim. Thank you for noticing.
But yeah, we fought some unnamed myceloid.
So, yes, there were myceloids. There was also a fungus, Leshy. Those are different things.
Oh, okay, that thing. Yeah, some sort of mushroom incarnate, evil, mean,
Do I not have...
painful,
I don't.
now dead thing.
Right. I don't have a second Foundry window. That's why Foundry chat's not working. Where is that? Is it you? Yes, you. Okay. Fixing. We're fixing.
We did answer some of the questions we had when we left the city. Mainly, what happened to those halflings we were looking for?
Ooh boy. They were mycologically infected.
I have my phone on Do Not Disturb. Where is the alert? There it is. Thanks for the resub, X that X1 X guy X.
Hey,
I still got it. So
it's a. Go ahead.
I have my phone on Do Not Disturb, and notifications are coming through because they're from people that I have whitelisted.
That's why I threw my phone across the room. Solve that problem.
Okay. Sorry, I interrupted. Thank you for the resub, Jamiller2377, whoever the hell that is.
Whoever the hell that is, some asshole.
It would have been amazing if your username was on screen at the same time as the alert, but it just says Jordan, so.
Oh.
Oh.
Lame.
Oh, it switched, but it's Jordan he him. So maybe the alert will last long enough for it to roll over to user. I don't know.
Otherwise,
hey, there we go.
We'll just have to use context
just before
clues.
the alert went away. Anyway, so yeah, mycologically infected, I think, was the last game-related thing that was said.
Mm-hmm. That's basically it. We fought in a giant mushroom. There was some yo-yoing going on.
A little bit. Does anyone have 3 levels of wounded?
Fetch might.
Fetch is at 2. I just checked.
Grom is at 2.
Grom is at 2.
P for party.
Wait, was it just Grom and Fetch who went down? It was just Grom and Fetch who went down.
They were tanking.
Mm-hmm.
Base tanking.
Yeah, you gotta get Fetch some armor. Does Fetch have armor proficiencies? I don't even know where to find that.
Proficiencies. Heavy barding is, yeah, there's a proficiency there. Light barding, unarmored defense.
Fetch, where's barding?
Fetch can wear barding.
Imagining taking Fetch to a stable and being like, now do you do armor for rock?
I gotta put some harder rocks on my rock.
What is... Oh, ouch. In order to not have a speed penalty from heavy barding, you need +5 strength.
Where's Fetch at it with that?
+2.
3 right now. Plus
Fetch has
2?
+2. Wait.
Oh, I thought it was plus 3.
Oh my god. Even light barding. What the fuck? Barding
It's okay. At level
sucks.
4, this all goes higher. It's fine. Fetch gets better at level 4.
Yeah. So at level 4, I think Fetch can finally get light barding, which requires +3 strength to not have a speed penalty.
Only
Ouch.
get slightly harder rocks for your rock.
Right.
Mhm.
Oh god.
Or would light barding be, let me put some animal skin on my rock to make it more durable.
Right, prevent him from chipping.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the bubble wrap around the dishes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. So
And we literally just get bubble wrap for fetch as light barding.
So, something that happened during the fight last session was that 5 of the 6 of you were infected with purple box.
Yes.
And I realized after the fight that at some point during the fight, the onset period of 1 minute had elapsed. And I forgot to actually have that occur. And I don't. The problem is that when it switches to stage 1, you're supposed to take 2d6 poison damage, but I think that might cause a TPK if I just apply that all right now. Because everyone is infected except for Baroom, and Baroom doesn't medicine.
Baroom cannot medicine.
And everyone who is infected except Archie has so few hit points that the damage is likely to knock them down again.
My 2 characters combined have a grand total of 1 hit point.
Yeah.
Oh, right, because Fetch is only conscious and stable, right?
Yes.
Or
Unconscious.
unconscious
and
but
stable.
stable.
Unconscious and stable. But it does 2d6 poison damage, and Archie and Crohan, or sorry, Squire and Crohan have 7 hit points, and that happens to be the average of 2d6. So, yeah. I guess that damage just isn't... It wouldn't be fair for me to just apply all of that damage right now. It should have happened over the course of the fight, and there probably would have been opportunities where it wouldn't have been that bad. I don't know. Anyway. I made a mistake, and now I need to remember that. I just didn't expect that fight to take more than 10 rounds. Mostly because I didn't expect you to keep chaining fights together.
The fact that that was optional is frustrating. I was like, well, obviously. No.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so you have begun to recover. No one is in mortal peril at this time. And you're in this gigantic, mostly hollow mushroom. What would you all like to do? And I need some ambiance. I wonder what Silvercap Tavern ambiance sounds like. Wooden floorboards. Anything else? Mice? Okay, that's not appropriate. I figured since it was a mushroom themed establishment that it might be appropriate here. But I guess all we get for literally the entire time you're in the Darklands is Darklands. Oh well.
That makes sense.
I think I'm going to begin.
Go ahead.
Okay. The what I assume is going to be several hours of treating wounds.
I anticipate several hours of treating wounds. Yeah.
Baroom's kind of anticipating several days of treating wounds. Like Baroom's sort of
Okay.
In the aftermath, like looking around and just going like, Crohan, I know we have to find it, but I think we need to like fortify Mushroom House and just take a couple of days.
I can't treat mental wounds. I'm not certified for that.
No, but we gotta figure out what happened here. think. Do we have a vague sort of obviously there's no day-night cycle, but we must have like a sleep cycle of some variety as underground creatures, right?
Yeah. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So
So
the
without being able to use a better term, is it
mm,
the afternoon? Is it
it has been several hours since you last slept. Yes.
okay?
And if I recall correctly from the last time I read the Sky King's Tomb Player's Guide, um, the 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 theme of being underground and not having an actual day-night cycle is that you basically just sleep when you're tired, and societies build themselves around not having established like open hours. Like shops are open when the shopkeep is conscious. Like
Yeah.
it just kind of happens, and some people trend towards a 21-hour cycle, and some people trend towards a 27-hour, and it's just whatever.
Gotcha. Okay. Um then yeah,
I'm
just
mostly leaving the idea of days to you.
okay.
On the
Then yeah.
topic of repeating treat wounds, um, what are the odds that you critically fail? Do you
If I
have to
roll a
roll a
one.
one? Okay. I would then say that whatever, just
Yeah, I'm a +10,
yeah,
+10 to medicine.
right. I
That's
think the
with
same.
the stupefy is already calculated in that, because I think I'm
Yeah.
normally +11.
Okay. Even Archie, who is slightly less good at medicine, has a +5. So again, needs to roll a one to critically fail. So the odds of you actually wounding one another with treat wounds very low, which means that I'm not gonna make you go through the process of rolling to see exactly how fucking long it takes to get everyone back to full hit points. If you're willing to just spend several hours here, and especially with Grom's continuous recovery, so like even if someone needs treat wounds 5-6 times, that's an hour for Grom because it's only 10 minutes of immunity rather than an hour. Um, if you're going to be here for several hours anyway, I had that.
Okay. Um I think Baroom's mostly fine. Um
Baroom took 0 damage that entire fight. I made
yeah,
sure of it.
yeah. Um they're still exhausted though. They can't sleep.
Yeah.
Or fatigued. They're fatigued, not exhausted. Fuck those 5e term. Fatigued. Um so
Fuck you,
Baroom would
wizards.
kind of stay out of the way. I think drag the bodies out of the
Okay.
kind of like Baroom's in sort of they could be coming again mode. Like
Mm.
fatigued and the sort of bloodshot paranoia, I would say,
Mm.
is kind of what you got. So Baroom's like, once we're safe, we can rest. Once we're safe, we can rest. Once we're safe, we can rest. And like,
Okay. I thought fatigued was you can't take exploration activities, or you can't use exploration activities, and I was like, wait, does that mean you can't like treat wounds? You can't refocus? You can't? No, it's you can't use exploration activities while traveling.
yes.
Okay, that's different.
So
Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
And with that, Archie would probably have Squire go and basically sit on the roof.
Okay.
And
Um,
basically, if something starts coming, he can shout an alarm.
Okay, and he does
Or-
have speech today. Sorry, they have
Yes, he
speech
does have
today?
speech. Yeah. Archie is very curious about the High Bloom brothers and what happened to
Okay.
them. With the fact he has a vial of the other necromantic spores just
Mhm.
sitting in the city still.
Oh, so that you left that in the stash.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's kind of curious on seeing if there's anything else he could pick up from like the way this is progressing or any type of information.
Okay. So you're specifically investigating the bodies?
Yeah, I figured he'd help Baroom moving them outside, and then kind of like, this is interesting.
And then get stuck staying and be like, oh.
So, question.
Yes.
Success on treat wounds says you gain hit points and loses the wounded condition. That's not reduces it by one level. That's just completely gone.
Gone. Yeah, the idea of the wounded condition is that if you yo-yo in any given fight, it gets deadlier and deadlier.
Mm-hmm.
But between fights, you should be able to cure wounded and reset that.
When you have a chance to actually sit and recover a little bit, you can
Yep.
close open wounds and stop bleeding out.
Mm-hmm.
Rather
Well, that's
than just...
persistent. That's persistent bleed damage, which is different.
I can't stand that Fetch almost died to persistent bleed. That makes no fucking sense.
That's my rock.
Yeah, the fact that Fetch doesn't have immunity to bleed damage is a little silly. As like Earth Elemental, the animal companion ancestry should have given immunity to bleed. But here's the thing. Hang on, I'm gonna look up like Earth Elementals and see like the monster family. I'm gonna look up like what's in it and what kinds of immunities they have.
How high of a level do you have to go till they get immune to bleed or whatever?
I don't think Fetch will, but okay, so I'm looking at a level 1 creature in the Earth Elemental family, and it is immune to bleed, paralyze, poison, sleep.
That is a little OP for like
that. Yeah, but that is. Yeah, that is ubiquitous across creatures in the Earth Elemental family. Bleed, paralyze, poison, sleep. And I understand that there are balance concerns about giving that to a player creature, but like they could have just made him weaker in other ways. But
it's the worst when you're like, it's Pathfinder. It's probably got a very good reason. It's probably very balanced.
Yeah.
I mean, Fetch already isn't like the most OP.
I mean, 15 AC at level 3 is like gigabutts.
They do what, 1d8 damage?
Yeah, 1d8 bludgeoning with the fist, which is actually pretty good as far as I'm aware. But yeah, so on the topic of treat wounds, feel free to just restore all of your hit points, get rid of your wounded, all of that. Be aware that you are still, most of you, infected with purple pox. Which
is that what the little purple person's face is?
So that is stupefied, which is one of the effects of purple pox.
Oh, so you can't get rid of that.
Unless you get rid of the disease. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the order in which I would have done this, I would have done myself a little bit. And then I would have gone to treat Fetch.
Okay.
And then Krohan, but I wouldn't have looked him in the eye the entire time I did it.
Okay.
I'm focused on what I'm doing. He helped stabilize me, and I recognized that he was helping me when I was up there dying, so I will help him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Archie. And Baroom, I'll look over Baroom, but Baroom looks fine. And then I'll finish with myself.
Or no, you just move. You're like, Baroom's fine, move on.
I don't think I have time right now to be troubled by it. I'm just so, like...
That's a real healthy way to deal with mental health issues.
As soon as I finish healing myself up, then I might sit down and think, like, why the fuck did it go that way? But, like, I probably would take a second and, like, interrupt what you're doing and, like, pull your arms up and inspect, make sure you're not, like, bruised or bleeding. take a minute or two and be like, "There's got to be scratch here somewhere."
Yeah.
Oh, the bleeding must be internal.
Bleeding
Surely.
must be internal, but it's fine because that's what the blood's supposed to be.
Internal bleeding is the best kind of bleeding.
Yeah. Archie. Sorry, I got sidetracked trying to figure out what kind of recall knowledge check I wanted you to roll. And then we moved on. But you wanted to learn more about like how the fuck did these halflings become this shit. So unless you have an alternative suggestion, any spellcasting tradition skill is appropriate.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably occultism is the route he would come at it from.
Okay.
If you mentioned it to Baroom, they would loan you the scholarly tome.
Yeah, he probably would have. I don't think it's a secret that he has a possible bio weapon sitting in the stash.
Yeah. Just like, oh, hey, Baroom, I want to... What? You have that book on mushrooms, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah, I need to go see if these are like the sheep spores from the silver cap.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, go ahead and recall knowledge. Give me a secret occultism check.
And the book would be a +1 circumstance.
+1 item.
It is a +1 item.
Item.
And you have to then spend a minute referencing it.
Okay. Time.
We're out of combat. It doesn't matter. I'm like, I know that it makes it take longer. Hold, please. Reading.
Goes from 1 action to 1 minute. Okay. So
it counteracts my stupefied.
I didn't actually plan for the fact that you would be this close to where I think the DC roughly is, so now I actually need to figure out what the DC is. Like, a lot of these rolls are really decisive. So
like the DC is like 5, 10, 15, 20, and you're like, it's 15-ish, and you rolled 14.
Yeah.
Fuck. Is it actually 15 on this one?
Okay. So, unfortunately, you did regular fail. You don't find anything in the book, and you can't remember anything that would cause this kind of infection. It's just I always feel bad just saying no, you don't get anything. Like I always want to offer you.
Unless you say no in
something.
2 different ways, and then you super failed, and she's just coming up with 2 different ways of saying nothing.
But yeah, that is unfortunately a failure. So Archie is apparently utterly unfamiliar with this. Hey, welcome, Fury of 1,000 Sunset Sea. Oh, that's my girlfriend. Hi. Bye. Oh wow, that's a tier 2 sub. Thanks for the tier 2 sub.
Where you rank?
What's that?
I said that's where you rank. Don't worry, Allie's only Allie, I think, is only a gift sub. So.
Are you still a tier 3 sub, Aren?
No.
Okay,
I had to stop that. I bought an apartment.
Yeah, that's fair. That phrase weirds. Like, you rent an apartment, you buy a condo. Like, I understand. Like, I get it, but like that just anyway. Can we get some Samuses and I don't know. I miss Samus. Wait, is that still a... No, I got rid of that emote. That makes sense, because I no longer have Samus. I lost her in the divorce.
I have a sticker.
You have a sticker? You have a Samus sticker?
Yes.
Is it on your water bottle?
No, I've been
Mine's on my water
terrified
bottle
to
at
use
work.
it.
Mood.
Wait, you still have the UPC code on too?
Look, I'm terrified to take this off the little sticker paper. I'm bad with stickers.
Tell me about it. I stress so much. Like, I need just a mural wall that we agree is sticker wall, and then just to sticker it, because anything else you sticker is temporary. Like, we had a beautiful, fucking awesome sort of centerpiece in our old apartment that we had, like we didn't have an in-window AC. We had one of those floor ACs with a tube going out the window. We stickered it all up. This apartment, AC in it.
Oops.
All these cool stickers are gone.
Oh, no.
We had a giant one that said definitely not a mimic underneath the mouth of the AC. It was
That's
awesome.
great. That's amazing. Okay.
No, it's gone now.
Well, get fucked.
Back to Pathfinder.
Yeah, back to Pathfinder. So Krohan is decent at medicine. So Grom, by the time you get around to him, he probably has bandaged himself up at least once and is waiting for the hour cooldown. But he's mostly just like, he's a little shell shocked. I know that there was. I don't know that I did a fantastic job role-playing him last session, but after the fight, he just sort of leans against the wall and just slides down to sit on the floor. I want to say I described that, and I described him like crawling over to Grom to stabilize.
You did.
Okay. He mostly just stays there. He occasionally looks over at the corpse of this fungus Leshy. But he has a bit of a 1,000-yard stare. So, I'm just gonna re-describe the environment, both floors. So I'm gonna start with the bottom floor. As I said, this is a hollowed-out giant mushroom stalk. The walls are made of coarse, striated, finger-thick hyphae that interlace 10 feet above the floor to create a ceiling. The strands near the center appear to have been carefully unraveled and woven into a spiral staircase. Other ceiling strands were unraveled and then carefully re-raveled into a Leshy-sized hammock that hangs about halfway between floor and ceiling. An assortment of pockmarked boulders and slabs are strewn about the room, one of which is covered in saliva. It's just glistening.
The cockroach is home.
The what?
The cockroach is home. It's not a cockroach, but it's a cockroach.
The rust monster?
Yeah. It's like its drooly dog bed.
More like a chew toy.
Oh no.
Yeah, like, yeah. The hammock is bolted into the ceiling on one end. Like it's just woven at one end from the hyphae and then just wrapped around a bolt and stuck into the ceiling. The rust monster apparently has a collar with a jade tag. Let's see what else. Okay,
Why did
so
we
that's-
name the rust monster?
Something Mr. Slag Whiskers.
Mr. Slagwister. You named him.
It was just Mr. Okay, it's Mr. Whiskers. Anyway, upstairs, the room is very clearly a laboratory of sorts. Each of the cap's 10 membranes has a tall, narrow window carved into it. Interesting. And the ceiling arches 15 feet overhead. where an assortment of glowing fungi fill the room with normal light. What the fuck is normal light? Like bright light? Normal light? Okay. The workbench is clean and organized, but the rest of the room is littered with discarded fungi and papers. There is a brazier next to the stairs, which does not appear on the map, that has this brazier is very clearly used to incinerate notes, and there is a half-burnt piece of paper just sitting on top. And there are other papers scattered throughout. And there's a bunch of stuff scattered on workbench and tables and notes. And I can go through the contents of the notes if someone wanted to spend some hours leafing through them.
Baroom is terrified to go upstairs.
Okay.
Or sorry, Baroom is terrified enough. Baroom is hit sort of the fatigue exhaustion point where they're trying to make, if they can, try and, like, once Archie comes back inside, try and figure out if they know how to unweave the hyphae enough to close the front door.
Okay.
Like, see if they can figure out how that's done. Like, they're coming up with tasks for themselves to avoid having to go upstairs, whilst also they do have an impending sense of doom of, like, who knows what else is out there.
Yeah. So, to see if you know how to do that, give me a crafting or mushroom lore or something.
The I never fucking know. If that, maybe, can I try Leshy lore? Is that like a thing Leshies do? Is weave mushrooms? Is that, sorry, specifically I was only a fungus Leshy would, but is fungus Leshy thing to do?
Probably not, but I'll say you get a circumstance bonus of +2.
Okay. Because I have +7 crafting, so it's fine. It's trained. I'm just trying to think if my other lores make more sense. Like, I have Bardic lore that's generally speaking better anyways.
So let's say Bardic lore with a circumstance bonus from Leshy. I don't know. Sure. Right. So it's going to be a generic lore, but you get a bonus for having another lore. I don't know. I'm probably pulling shit out of my ass that I shouldn't, but
that's okay. You God.
Jordan, I wanted to bring something up with you about your lore, which is that my understanding of your background is that you picked laborer, which gave you labor lore, but I also understand that you spent at least most of that time as a miner. And I know that it's come up at least once. Thank you. I know that it's come up at least once. If you would like to swap out labor lore for mining lore, that would be beyond appropriate.
Blind GM, private GM, or
blind
GM?
Okay. So you are able to piece together how to reweave these to close the... I don't even think there's a door. Like, I think it's just a doorway.
It's just a doorway, but things are out there in the dark. And they're infected with purple pox and might come for us.
Yeah.
Things
like
are
Squire.
in here in the light, infected with purple pox.
Everybody knows that's how the horror movie goes. You lock yourself in, you 100% make the room impenetrable, and then you turn around and all your friends are zombies.
And now you can't get out.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the room doesn't know they're in a horror movie.
Yeah. So you are able to at least make a covering. It's not gonna survive a siege of any sort, but it is closed, and even a small creature would need to squeeze to get through it.
That soothes some portion of Baroom's conscience. Conscience.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think at that, Baroom would like feel like they'd accomplished something and feel obligated to like face up to what's upstairs.
Okay. Is there just a moment of standing at the bottom of the stairs and just sort of vaguely looking up them?
I mean, I think everybody else is upstairs.
Everybody else is upstairs.
Yeah, Baroom's definitely like just like.
I'm sitting next to a pool of my own blood.
Aren, take a hero point. I'm here for this roleplay.
They don't like it.
Yeah. Archie, what have you been up to?
After checking out, not really seeing anything, he would have made his way upstairs, like seeing Baroom, like come in, seeing Baroom, like starting on the door. He'd be like, "Okay, they're doing stuff.
Okay.
Get out of the way.
Going
Go
through
upstairs."
something.
And then if we have time, Archie would just basically start pointing at objects around the room and casting Read Aura.
Okay. So just spending many minutes trying to figure out what is and is not magical in the room.
Yeah, they were making zombies. Something's magic, and he doesn't want to touch anything.
Okay. So this workshop does constitute an entire, what is it called, alchemical lab, the 5 bulk one. Is that what it's called?
I think, well, an alchemical lab is an item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Yes. Alchemist's lab is what it's called. Bulk 6, Jesus Christ. So yeah, the tools scattered around the room do constitute an entire alchemist's lab, but none of those tools and items are actually magical. But what does read as magical is a tiny hourglass on one of the surfaces and a knot of brittle hair held together by a metal clasp that resembles 2 hands clasped in friendship.
So it's hairs that are in a knot.
Wrapped around a clasp.
A hair clip kind of looking thing?
Yeah, hair clip kind of looking thing.
Okay. When you said 2 hands, all I could think of was the, is it an Irish ring? Wedding ring?
Claddagh?
Yeah. That's all. You said 2 hands, and that's all I could think of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Archie
probably pronouncing that wrong, but yeah. Claddagh? Claddagh?
Colada.
Claddagh? I don't know. Yeah, but you know Scotch Gaelic?
Yeah, but hilariously, Irish Gaelic, Scotch Gaelic do not interact together very well.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
No.
I mean, the Irish and the Scots hate each other.
Yeah, just because you hate each other doesn't mean your languages haven't, fucked each other.
Well, it's funny because, like, there's words that are like, oh, that's pronounced exactly the same thing. They have completely different meanings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
As soon as Archie finds anything in magic, he will basically let everybody know and be like, this is magic. Like, until we know what it is, everything's a trap.
What does Read Aura actually tell you? So you know that it's magical, and you get a plus 2 to identify magic. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Also, you really need to get to level 5 so that you can heighten this to 3rd and target up to 10 objects.
Uh-huh. 6th, I just... everything.
Yeah, so we're not gonna get to level 11 though, so... Fair, fair that you put it in Foundry because I disabled the quotes because there's several hundred quotes with my dead name, and I don't feel
it's
like
just
going
better
through
this
them
way.
all.
No, 100%. I just it made me laugh, and the act of memorializing it made me laugh also.
Yeah. Do me a favor, actually. Put that in Discord in the Sky King's Tomb channel and pin it. Actually, you can't pin, can you?
Nope. But it's fine.
Pinned. Okay. So these two items are magical. Grom, what are you up to?
After curing wounds, I probably adopt a similar 1,000-yard stare to Krohan. I sit there on the ground, just recovering mentally for a solid hour or two.
Okay. Alrighty.
I took some big hits in that fight, and it was not good.
Okay.
The last time I almost died, I started going crazy. There was a talking mushroom and everything.
There was a talking mushroom this time too.
Oh God.
Actually, there was 2 this time.
Okay. Archie, what are you doing with the knowledge that these things are magical?
I think like seeing like there's still stuff going on. Archie's like, I'm slightly uncomfortable in this situation. I'm gonna keep busy, and might start trying to identify what things actually are.
Okay, so you're gonna try to identify the items you. Okay.
Yeah, the hourglass first.
Okay.
So that it's just an occult check.
Yeah, so identifying a magic item, unless the item has a specific tradition, which very few items do as far as I'm aware, it is any spellcasting tradition related ability. And the DC will be based on the item's level.
Sorry.
Okay.
I was trying to see if I could click it to do it, but there's no in text macro to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Identify. Okay.
Oh, and then I get the read aura circumstance bonus.
Yep. +2.
Yeah, and that is blind GM. Right?
That was
that's
not blind.
public.
No. I hit the wrong button.
We'll delete that and you'll reroll it.
Yep. There was my one good roll for the night.
It was an 11.
Was that an 11?
That wasn't yeah.
I just saw 21.
Yeah.
Good juju, good juju, good juju, good juju, good juju.
Okay.
Fun fact, it's an 11 again.
Okay. I have to figure out what it is that I tell you.
What lie did we get told?
It's not nothing, which means it's not a regular failure.
It's
Right.
perfectly safe and not a bomb.
So just to clarify, for the identify magic, a critical success tells you all of the attributes, including its name, what it does, any means of activating it, and whether it's cursed. A regular success, you get a sense of what it does, and you learn any means of activating it. For an ongoing effect, you learn the effect's name and what it does, and you can't try again in hopes of a critical success. Failure, nothing, can't try again for a day. Critical failure, you misidentify it. So,
Okay.
so just because I'm sitting here trying to figure it out doesn't necessarily mean it's a critical failure. It could just be that it's a success and I'm trying to limit the amount of info I give you.
You're trying to vibe check. No, if it was a critical failure.
Weird that, like, I don't... Like, if I give you the item, I leave it mystified, but you can't try again to try to get a critical... So how do you ever...
Somebody else?
How do I ever unmystify it?
Or you take it to a dude?
I guess.
Like, all items need like 3 or 4 copies.
They
All in
need 3 or
different
4 like
stages.
tiers of mystify, I feel like. Like you should be able to mystify the notes, but not the name of the item or the rarity or something. You know what I mean? Like each box in a magic item should have a mystify button.
I just Googled, found a Reddit thread, and literally every single comment is saying, on a success, give them everything so that you don't have to worry about it. And only if it's cursed does critical success matter. So you are able to identify the hourglass as a grim sand glass. It functions as a spell heart, which, as I understand it, is a special kind of talisman that is not consumable. If you're unfamiliar with talismans, they are consumable things that you affix to either a weapon or your armor, and they have an effect that triggers once. Spell hearts are the same. They take that weapon or armor's one talisman slot, but they're not consumable. They're persistent. They last forever. They're permanent magic items. So when affixed to armor, the Grim Sandglass gives resistance 2 to void damage, and affixed to a weapon, after you cast a necromancy spell by activating the Sandglass, your strikes with the weapon deal an additional 1d4 void damage until the end of your next turn. The Sandglass is also activatable as a 2-action activity to cast Void Warp.
So you 2-action activity Void Warp, and then smack them with to the start of next turn or end of next turn?
End of your next turn.
Okay, so you could recall knowledge. They seem resistant to void. Yes, no. Activate Void Warp, and then next turn, bang bang.
Yeah.
Do something else.
Yep.
Okay, that is a potential strategy.
Yep.
Okay.
And spell hearts apparently are not invested either, so that's cool. So they don't take up one of your 10 slots. So let me just... I'm just gonna slap that in your inventory. There you go.
Yeah, once we're a little more settled, we'll see.
Okay.
I don't know. Either Grom or Baroom could probably use that.
Okay.
If the, and I don't know exactly in what, how long each activity's take and everything else like that. I think at a certain point, Baroom would just like pull the goggles off their forehead, like put them on, and then beeline to dead mushroom guy.
The Fungus Leshy?
The Fungus Leshy.
Okay. To what end?
And just do I look anything like it?
Not even
like, is there any resemblance?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I will share the artwork.
I mean, you
Aside
both
from
have
Oh
bioluminescence.
no, that's the
mushroom
wrong...
caps.
Oh, that's the wrong foundry window. Oh no. Hang on. Foundry mat. Window. Foundry. There we go.
Yeah, so I think Baroom's like, okay, this thing made me, but I didn't necessarily come from, I don't know. I don't know. I know examining a dead body is medicine theoretically, but this feels like I'm looking for I am functionally looting the body,
Okay.
but I think specifically if I can somehow connive my way into using Leshy lore on the dead Leshy body,
Yeah.
specifically trying to find like Leshy talismans, the staff I assume does things, just like pulling that off. And then if there's anything to learn about the kind of things they did, obviously I've seen the evidence in a fight, but
Yeah.
I don't know, vibe check the dead body. I don't think
Okay.
that's a thing that I should say out loud. That sounds wrong, but
Okay. Are you trying to like recall knowledge about this creature?
functionally I'm trying to recall knowledge about this creature. I think that's
Okay.
probably more accurate. I'm less looting, more recalling knowledge about this creature.
Okay.
Whether or not I know this particular creature, I think that's
Okay. Um.
Can I
Yeah.
use my tome? Because it's a Darklands Fungus scholarly journal.
No.
You can say no.
No, but
Okay.
you do get a +4 circumstance bonus.
I don't like that.
Why don't you
What,
like
for personal history?
Yeah, actually.
I'm gonna choose to forego that +4 bonus because I don't like it.
Okay.
I choose to forego that personal bonus because mental trauma.
Okay. So a. Okay. So in the spirit of recall knowledge, what is your question?
What was this person like? What can I gather about who they were? What they were
Okay.
from their dead body?
Okay. A name pops into your mind unbidden. This is Skibrellon. And based on its effects and its demeanor while it was alive and vague recollections, you can put together that it was convinced that people who ate fungi of any sort were murderers. That they were a creature driven by hatred.
They were convinced that people who ate mushrooms were creatures driven by hatred, or this
No.
is a creature.
This is a creature driven by hatred.
Got you. Skibrellon. Skibrellon?
Skibrellon.
Skibrellon. Okay.
And since you critically succeeded, you get to ask a follow-up question with the same roll.
Are you my mommy?
A follow-up question pertaining to any of the things that I just said.
Yeah.
I don't count the clarification that you asked.
Yeah. Was there a plan, like, were they planning to attack human? Like, they're a creature driven by hate, and they were convinced that these people that ate mushrooms in any way, shape, or form were monsters.
Hmm.
Were they planning a mass assault?
I'm going to.
With it planning assault, mass assault is probably too specific.
Yeah, I'm going to interpret that as a, were they blinded by their hate, or were they methodical about it?
Were they just crazy and evil in a hole in the ground, or was there method and structure to the villainy?
Yeah. So, there was structure, and it has eroded over time. They used to be a methodical creature, and they have been less so. Had been less so.
And
Past perfect.
Time is totally wibbly wobbly. I have no sense of when that could have been or anything else.
Right.
No, fair. Baroom doesn't know when things happened. I think the first thing that like anybody hears Baroom say would be, I don't know that they were wrong. That's the worst part. And Baroom would kind of just grab their body. I don't know what activity dragging a body is. It's medium when you're small, but I don't care about the speed. Just Baroom would.
They're small. They're Leshy as well. So.
Ah, okay. Baroom would, however long that takes, you would have that long at that point. Start dragging them outside for the purposes of.
I do just want to point out you rewove the.
I know. I thought about that as I said it. I went drag them outside.
You could push them out a window.
No, drag them to just their bed downstairs.
Okay. All right.
I can't drag their token, but point being, that's what Baroom would do. Yeah. And then at that point, then I think loot the body, like physically, just like talismans, bitty bobs, whatever's.
Yeah. I don't actually know where in this room the hammock is.
It's right here.
Oh, so it is. Look at that. So I have. Oh my god! It moved through the teleport that goes upstairs. So I get to see everything very dark. So like when you have your token selected or you have no token selected, you have your vision, which is dark vision, which lights everything up but turns it gray. I don't get that unless I select one of your tokens. So I just have very dark and in color. And it's really
there should be light
annoying
up here, right?
Are there colors?
Should be. There are colors.
There's not, because we have dark vision and there's no light. Except there is light up here because that's what the description said.
Bam!
Oh my god, there's colors up here. I feel like most people that live underground must wear like gaudy, crazy colors.
Yeah.
Just because we like the patterns and the variations.
All right. It's like seeing like color photos of the sets of black and white movies. And it's just like, why the fuck are you wearing bright fucking red? And why are you in bright fucking what the hell?
Because I needed to look dramatic in black, and that's how the film interprets bright red. Was that what the original Addams Family sets were? Neon red to do the black and dreary?
There was shitloads of yellow.
Oh, it was yellow appeared weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The original, the now colorized photos of the original Addams Family sets are really cool. Yeah. I recommend it. Anyways. Baroom's having a time and struggle busing. But would come back upstairs eventually. Yeah. It's so weird.
Come at. There we go. Yeah, it's It's weird. Anyway. So you said looting the body.
Yeah, looting the body. Would you say that was crafting? Or no, I'm not trying to identify the shit. I'm just pulling all the things that checks off.
Right. So the only thing really of note on the body is the staff. So I'm just gonna slap that in your inventory, mystified, and figure that out. So you see unusual staff, right?
I'm not even in C for character right now. Hold please. Ah, yes, I see unusual staff.
Okay.
Does everybody, are they starting to like kind of break out in like purple pox?
Yeah, probably. Let's see if there's a description of the visual effects of purple fox.
Like, are their eyes going purple or something?
Yes, their eyes are purple, is where they're at right now. No boils, no open sores, just purple eyes. I want to say I described that there were. It's not so much that the eyes are purple; it's that the veins are purple, and it's most visible in their eyes.
So Baroom, once the body's gone from the second floor, would kind of have a moment to like breathe for a second, and then looking at their allies would go, "Holy shit! Your eyes are you're turning violet." Yeah, I suppose because like Archie's like investigating stuff, so I think Baroom would kind of join them in looking into stuff. And holy shit! Do you know you have purple eyes? And not purple. You're starting to go purple in the eyes.
No, I mean I haven't had a chance to look in a mirror. I'm a little. God, I get it'd be like, yeah, my head's a little foggy, but I don't know, I'm doing okay.
How reflective is the religious symbol of Torag? It's made of silver.
It's made of symbol.
It's made of symbol.
It's made of symbolism. It's a religious symbol.
Remind me where you got that?
The dragon, the cloud dragon. She gave it to me.
Probably not particularly polished. So not really mirrored.
Okay. Edge of a dagger.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, pull out dagger.
Yeah.
Look at your eyes.
Okay.
And then Baroom would check on the Krohan, Grom, and there's no pupils. Like the artwork does not imply so, but also I just imagine that Fetch's eyes are just different colored rocks. There's not.
Probably.
Yeah, there's like a spot where there should be a face. There's like a cavity for a mouth and like little things that could be nose holes. And there's like rounder rocks under what are like rock eyelids.
So
but they don't blink, which is kind of weird.
We could absolutely like doodle eyeballs wherever we wanted. Or pupils wherever we wanted on Fetch. And they could go look.
Now I'm picturing Fetch with googly eyes.
I also am picturing Fetch with googly eyes, but specifically on their back. You're like, they're always watching you. And especially as they walk away, just
get a whole bunch of them, plaster them all over.
So I'm just gonna sort of zoom out one step, and instead of just sort of tracking what you're doing minute to minute or even hour to hour, what is it that you're hoping to accomplish here? Other than like take your fucking time and recover from the shock that is that fight. Like I'm here for the roleplay, and it's the mechanical shit that I just kind of want to speed through. If that makes sense.
Yep.
Archie's curious of what is in here. It's like there's still the other magical item. He's probably gonna be going through the burned ashes.
Okay.
The alchemist lab. He's probably, if it is something he can gather up and we can fit in the bag.
Spacious pouch.
Don't you have an alchemist lab in the spacious pouch?
We can't afford an alchemist lab.
Isn't it like 5 gold?
No, I thought they were like
5 gold.
50.
No, alchemist lab is 5 gold. Yeah.
We don't currently have one in the spacious pouch.
Okay.
Yeah, we spent all our gold on cards.
They released a new set of trading cards, and we need to go get them all.
I need you to understand. We fucked over. What's fuck this useful shit? I want more trading cards.
And then I fed a bunch of them to Squire,
which was very useful. I won't disagree with that.
So many cantrips now. But yeah, Archie's specifically kind of, to take his mind off of things, is focusing on the things outside that he can look at.
Baroom would want to investigate for signs of the creation of this disease / poison.
Okay.
Or like samples of it for the purposes of trying to figure out how to cure their friends.
Okay.
After taking some time to recenter, not refocus specifically, but just recenter, I would try and get with Krohan to see what the armor shard is saying about where the dagger is.
What the pauldron wants, yeah.
Okay.
And very carefully walk around the exterior chamber with detect metal.
Okay. 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 So Archie, you said you wanted to search outside? Or
it inside. Like I want to
Inside,
identify
okay.
the other magic thing. Go through the ashes and paper.
Okay. And
right, there's ashes with a scroll unburnt on top or something.
And did you want to read our objects downstairs as well?
Yeah. He's
Okay.
basically, if we're spending some time here, he's pointing at everything.
Cool. So go ahead and give me an identify check for the metal clasp. Grom, you're just gonna sort of tear the door open and head outside and.
Well, I'm gonna try and be gentle about it. We
Yeah,
can
sure.
squeeze.
Small creature
We're doing all
can
this hard
squeeze
work.
through. A medium
We're
creature
doing all this
cannot
hard work, so we're gonna have to try and. I mean, only break it a little bit, only as much as necessary.
So now a medium creature can squeeze through, basically?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Okay, Archie, you are able to identify this knot of brittle hair. Functions as a diplomat's badge. It is an invested magic item. When displayed prominently, this brass badge makes creatures find you more agreeable. You gain a +1 item bonus to diplomacy checks. And once per day as an action, you can recall knowledge. It has an activity. It has a one action activate called recall knowledge. Effect: attempt a DC 20 check to recall knowledge about a people of a human ethnicity, a non-human ancestry, or some other type of creature. The GM determines what your options are. Okay. If you succeed, the badge's bonus increases to +2 for diplomacy checks with creatures of that group for the rest of the day.
So is that based on that description, is it working to say, look, this is a diplomat's badge from a representative of Taldor. You can't just pop this on and recall knowledge about dwarves. I'm asking, like, is that what it's trying to say?
Ba, 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 ba.
The GM determines the type or whatever?
Yeah. I think the GM determines the type was the, like, third group of options, some other type of creature.
Okay.
So, human ethnicity, non-human ancestry, and other groups of people at my discretion.
Oh.
Or some
okay.
other types of creatures at my discretion.
The at your discretion was not for the modifying the whole list, just the third item in the list.
Maybe?
Okay.
It seems kind of weird. Like, hey, I have this lock of hair. It makes me better at talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a magic lock of hair.
Sure. Doesn't make it any less creepy.
It's a compelling lock of hair. I don't know. Have you ever seen, like, somebody's brooch that's just so fascinating that you're just like, I gotta talk to. What the fuck is going on with this brooch? I want to talk to you.
No, I haven't.
Really?
I don't like talking to people.
I'll slap this in chat. There we go.
Oh, that's way worse. I agree with Jordan now. I take it back.
So I don't know how this would ever come up, but I'm just going to make it come up because I can. Someone or everyone make a dwarf lore or society check to identify what the fuck this thing is. And since it's a secret check, like, you're not actually supposed to know what you're rolling, which is weird to me. Like, I'm supposed to roll it for you and just use your modifier.
I don't have dwarf lore.
That's...
You didn't pick the right dwarf thing. Don't you have high elm lore?
I have high helm lore, but it's not the same. It's too specific.
Krohan has dwarf lore.
But my society is the same as, like, any of my lore skills, so...
I have Dwarven Pantheon.
Can I use my knowledge of ancient history for a circumstance bonus?
Sure.
I get it from my archaeology background.
Archie, you are able to, and Baroom, you are able to... Brom doesn't know anything about this, apparently, which is fucking weird. But Archie and Baroom, you are able to recall that dwarves sometimes acknowledge wrongdoing by severing a beard or braid.
Well, that makes sense.
And that appears to be, and this clasp would have been braided into a beard.
Oh no.
Archie, you continue on to read through hundreds of pages of notes, and Grom and Baroom, you're doing stuff while this is happening, but I'm just going to get through Archie and then we'll get to what everyone else is doing. Most of the intact and not, like, moldered to nothing pages are field illustrations of various fungi, Sylvan rants. Do you speak Sylvan?
I think so.
You do not.
Oh,
Sylvan is now Fae.
I
Yeah.
have Fae.
I was gonna say.
Yep. Yeah. Sylvan was replaced with Fae in the remaster.
And we all speak it.
Yes. So rants in the Fae language about surface predators eating the writer's children, and maps of other restaurants in High Helm that were planned targets of attack. There are also, among these notes, 2 rituals that I will add to your sheet. The first is... Oh my god, you're not gonna let me just drag it from here? Oh my god, okay. The first is create Myco Guardian. And the second is a variant of reincarnate.
Oh no.
The variant of reincarnate, I'm just going to let you know, is heavily weighted to Leshy. And yes, the reincarnate ritual in Pathfinder functions much like the D&D spell where you take a dead creature and you make a new fucking body of a random goddamn ancestry. But this particular ritual is heavily weighted to Leshy.
So whatever it's a D100 table or whatever. It's
it is D20. So by default, reincarnate is on a result of 1 through 14, the new body is a common ancestry, while on a 15 through 20, they become a member of an uncommon or rare ancestry. The GM chooses possible ancestries based on those found in the region and randomly determines the ancestry. That's default for reincarnate. This one, instead, is a common ancestry on 1 through 8. 9 through 13 is uncommon or rare, and 14 through 20 is a Leshy. So I'm just going to edit this ritual that's
you
in
could
here.
roll a 12 and still get Leshy, though, because we're uncommon, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Alright, I've updated the ritual in your spellbook. It is a 3rd rank ritual, which, as far as I'm aware, requires that you be level 5 to cast it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No coming back from the dead. So how does, mechanically speaking, or no, not mechanically, the opposite. Narratively speaking, when I know in 5th edition, it's like when you try and interpret spells of a higher level than you can cast, it's just kind of garbled gobbledygook. You can't grok it. What about this one? Like in Pathfinder, is it just, you can find it, you can hold on to them, collect them like a Pokemon, no cast?
Jordan, add it to the list.
Cool. To the list.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Furthermore, the sort of a little bit burnt letter in the brazier, it appears to have been saved from the fire by the fact that it is heavily moldered, but like very rapidly, to the point where the paper has not yet degraded to unreadability, and is actually very readable, and I will now share that with you. Would you like to read aloud? I can't make this any...
Tender of the voiceless spores. The world dines upon your kind with thoughtless gluttony, carving away the silent multitude as though their stillness is permission, their unresisting flesh an invitation. The ignorant call it harvesting, as if taking of life is a kindness when the slain cannot cry out. They believe their hands clean because no blood pools at their feet. You and I know better. You have given the forgotten a voice, stirred the slumbering into waking, but the plucking of a single strand does not unravel the whole loom. A greater reckoning must come. Let them taste the suffering they have inflicted in each morsel that passes their lips. Let them breathe in the spores and feel the hyphae they have severed take hold in their own flesh. Let them hear the whispers in the damp earth, the rising chorus of those they have so long ignored. You need only guide them, make them understand what it is to be prey. Take those who would pluck and burn, grind and devour. Show them that flesh too can be cultivated. If they hunger for the fruiting bodies of their betters, let them become the soil from which new life blooms. The cycle will be complete, and the mycoloids will remember who it was that gave them form. I have seen the coming of the verdant hollow, the place where none may tread who do not walk in harmony with the growth beneath their feet. Let the forests and caverns be reclaimed, let their roots spread. And when the first of them begs to be spared, let them hear the answer in the rustling of the caps, in the sighing of the spores. You never listened when we pleaded. Yours in righteous grievance, Y.O. That broken hammer? Is it the picture? Yeah.
Yes, that is a broken hammer.
Huh. Yeah, I think Archie's gonna pass this around.
Okay. So, given that that is a symbol at the end, would you like to try and figure out what the fuck that symbol might be?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me
Yes.
a Dwarven Pantheon check.
Perfect. I'm good at that. As long as I don't roll a 1 like I probably did.
So you recall that there is a tradition amongst followers of Drangvit of creating what are known as grudge marks. Unique symbols that are unique to an individual that frequently or almost exclusively have some kind of broken version of another dwarven symbol. That there was a promise broken, a vendetta made, and a debt to be minded.
Is Drangvit the dwarven god of revenge?
Drangvit is the dwarven god of debt, pursuit, and vengeance. She is known as the debt minder. I'm trying to make a hyphenate word that's like religious historically. Religio historically. She became the matron deity. I was like, wait, how do I feminize that? The matron deity of debts when she was scorned by Torog because she was his betrothed. And he instead married Bolka?
She's like the goddess
No,
of like
not
homes
Bolka.
and
Fulgrit. Bolka is his daughter. Fulgrit.
Ain't that the way it always is?
Doesn't
Is
someone have
she
full
evil
grit
per
as their...
se, or is she just
Uh,
like what's her alignment? I don't think we don't do alignment anymore, whatever, but
Um, lawful neutral
okay.
or lawful evil.
Yeah, valid.
Yeah. Archie, your
Ye-
your deity is full grit.
yeah.
How do you reconcile the idea of Drangvit being scorned?
Archie himself, because he's still relatively new to it, because he
Mm-hmm.
also kind of jumps religions as long with everything else. um, yeah, I'm not 100% sure where his head would be at with that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Get rid of that. Okay. And then just to finish going through things that exist, the tag hanging from Slag Whisker's collar is magical, as is the bolt that holds the hammock into the ceiling.
Mm.
Huh. I gotta check out that bolt, make sure we pull it out. Does the mushroom fall down?
It's a load bearing bolt.
Yeah, it's bury a load of a corpse right now.
That's true. Grom, you are going to carefully walk around outside in the environ, the cave at large, repeating.
I drag Krohan with me too.
Okay. Repeating detect metal.
Mhm.
And
Did you check the house first?
I assume so.
Okay.
Not a whole lot of metal in the house. There's a bolt up in the ceiling. And there's like a brazier.
There's a diplomat's badge.
It's true.
Some weird hair thing. I don't know why that reads as metal.
So you had said that you wanted to get a sense of where Krohan is being pulled, and he indicates that the fissure that he dropped the dagger into is just beyond the mushroom, but he's willing to entertain combing the cave.
Yeah, we're not going to be nice about it either. If we know the shriekers, there's the ones that explode and like do spores. We're gonna deal with those before we even come to them.
Okay.
Like shooting them with arrows or
Okay.
throwing stuff at them.
Gotcha.
We're not trying to be
Okay.
quiet anymore. Like
Right.
there's nothing in the immediate vicinity.
Okay.
So you go outside and you say, "Don't worry, we'll be back." And then we hear a blood-curdling scream.
Well, we know that the shriekers are usually yell if things come close to them, right? But
Yeah.
like we can stop that from happening by utterly destroying them. This is something that we learned before. And so I think we've got some pent up rage where and this is probably not a good thing to be doing based on that letter that Archie just found, but you know.
So whatever attack you're making against the Shrieker at range, roll damage.
What do I have? I'm gonna be gouging clawing them.
Okay.
What was it, piercing or slashing? piercing was better for.
Slashing, because you want to let the
Slashing.
air out of the sack.
Okay, so we just want to roll damage.
Yep, just damage. That's enough to destroy it in one hit. Because they have yay hit points, and if you don't destroy it in one hit, they shriek.
Mm-hmm.
But that's enough, and we don't need to roll for every single one of them. So yeah, no, they don't scream. I
do like one of these motions, and just like they rip in half.
Gross. So you scour the ground and actually don't detect any metal out in the field.
Okay. Spend some time doing that. I'm sure Krahan has some stuff he might be doing, maybe.
So he is communing with the armor shard and pretty consistently points just past the big mushroom. There's a fissure. Archie, you're able to identify the bolt as a climbing bolt, which is a consumable. It is fired from a crossbow, I believe. Yes. It is either fired from a crossbow or you just stick it into something with your hand. When the bolt strikes a solid surface, the twine wrapped around the shaft of the bolt unwinds and enlarges into a 50-foot long rope securely fastened to the surface the bolt struck.
It would. So, I forgot what my spells are. Telekinetic projectile. Work on activating that also.
Sure.
I don't have the arm strength for it. I have the brain strength. You're like, throw it as far as you can.
I mean, alternatively, you'd load it into a crossbow.
Yeah, Archie got rid of his crossbow.
I don't think Archie can fire a crossbow.
I mean, anybody can fire a crossbow, just how accurately.
Right.
It was very heavy.
And I'm kind of getting tired of the rolling to identify things, so I'm just gonna give you the pendant, which is a jade cat talisman, which is a talisman, so it's consumable. Trigger: you fall or attempt an acrobatics check to balance. Requirements: you are trained in acrobatics. As a free action, as a free action, for 1 minute after you activate it, you treat all falls as 20 feet shorter. You are not off guard when you balance, and narrow surfaces and uneven ground are not difficult terrain for you.
Would have been nice to have that climbing the slippery wall.
Yeah. And it is affixed to armor.
Or a widow collar?
Or a widow collar. Yeah, that's Slag Whisker's barding.
It's extra light barding.
Right.
Put it on Fetch's head.
Fetch doesn't have proficiency in extra light barding.
Baroom, remind me what it was that you were...
Dragonpox, looking into research notes on dragonpox, vials of dragonpox. Purple pox. I said dragonpox. I'm so sorry. I meant purple pox.
Right. So give me a 1 second. It's gonna be recall knowledge. I just need to figure out what fucking skills. It's gonna be nature, or you can choose a lore as appropriate.
Darklands is purple pox. I guess if I was going to try and use Darklands, I would say is purple pox a known plague?
I will say that Darklands lore is appropriate. That's not a thing that you have to like guess at.
Okay.
And if you're using the notes in this room, you'll get a +3 item bonus to the check.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so just investigating.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck.
Just gonna, yep. Trash.
Add. Blind GM. Keep higher. I'm gonna use my hero point on this.
Okay.
Because these are my friends, and I really wanna make sure that they're okay.
Okay. So purple pox is a disease that is ubiquitous amongst myceloids as I don't know if they can be counted. I don't know if they count as an ancestry, because they are like a natural creature, but also purple pox is how they reproduce. They infect flesh-based creatures with their purple pox, and if the disease is allowed to run its course, you will die. And I was gonna say, I can't remember the name for like mushroom flesh.
You'll become a mushroom, or mushrooms will
you will
sprout
become
out?
a myceloid. You will your corpse will bloat and burst, releasing a new fully grown myceloid.
Okay. I'm gonna be a little bit polite. That's okay.
That said, since you critically succeeded, the creature that attacked you was not a proper myceloid. It was not created via purple pox. It was created with the Create Myco Guardian ritual, which uses necromantic spores as a reagent.
Okay. And the necromantic spores can be infected with purple pox. Perhaps.
The necromantic spores, like, are a magically infused version of purple pox.
Okay.
Weaponized purple pox.
Weaponized purple pox, yes.
I am trying so hard to keep my brain out of the gutter. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Oh, you said it's how they reproduce. It's, your allergies every year because of tree jizz. He just jizzed all over you guys, and he weaponized his theme to get it all over my friend.
I mean, spores are mushroom jizz, so yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one is different.
This one's weaponized.
Baroom figures this out and just goes like, "Oh no, it's dirtier." They're just like not about it. It's fine. Okay.
Archie, if you take a look at the Create Myco Garden ritual, it lists a cost based on the level of the creature that you're hoping to. Is that the creature you target, or?
I think it's what you create.
Wait, you have to kill something to make a guardian?
Transform.
I mean, if they do poorly enough to die on their own.
Transform it into a fungus creature with a level up to that allowed in the below table.
Oh, so you would. Okay, so you would upcast you would heighten the spell to be able to create the higher levels. So it is a first rank ritual, but you have to cast it at second rank to even make a level -1 creature? That's weird. Anyway, your necromantic spores, your sample is worth 30 gold pieces towards this ritual. But as part of knowing this ritual, you know how to make more.
How many cities can we get kicked out of? Bingo.
It and the ritual scrolls, they don't like burn up after the ritual, or like.
You know this ritual. This is a thing that you know how to cast.
You're cursed with this knowledge now. Congratulations.
It was a cursed magic item, just not the way you thought.
Oh,
It's
Archie
not the
definitely
way you
would.
thought.
It has a
collecting.
cast time of 1 day. I'm going to go into your stash and update the value of the necromantic spores to 30 GP.
Think of how many cards that could be, you guys.
Reincarnate's only 4 hours.
Okay, I've updated the necromantic spores in your stash. Okay. Is there anything else y'all would like to do here?
I don't think we're gonna wander off beyond where the mushroom is on our own.
Okay.
I think Archie would like it if we get to a point where like, okay, start winding down, or like sit down, or like I'm sure at some point we'll sit down and eat. Archie would like lay out all the magical stuff he's been coming across.
Okay.
And seeing the interest there.
Did anybody try and identify the staff?
No, Baroom has had that on their back. I think Baroom probably would have failed to do so if Archie asked. Would have just given it to you. Baroom's sort of invested in trying to make sure you guys don't die or become zombie mushrooms.
Okay. Incidentally, you can make more recall knowledge checks about purple pox. The DC increases each time, but
Yeah. Does the crit success mean I can ask another question, or roll again better? I don't know.
I think I just volunteered new information without actually giving you a choice of question.
Got you. Okay, cool. But I got 2 pieces of information, so I'm cool.
Yes.
I have no problem with that. I'm more trying to remember how it works. Okay.
But it doesn't affect the DC of later checks.
Yeah.
Or rather, it
Yeah.
does affect the DC of later checks in that you got 2 pieces of information, but you have only made 1 check.
Yes.
So.
No. If there's time, Baroom would want to recall knowledge on the Verdant Hollow. Capital V, capital H.
So no on purple pox.
No on the purple pox, if only because oh no. We don't know how to. No, sorry, backing up. I'm staying focused as my character. Ways of mitigating it, or like curing it or whatever.
Okay. Okay.
So the DC goes up.
So I will say that, just sort of broadly, the way diseases work is that so you have an initial save. If you fail, you are infected, and the onset period starts. After the onset period elapses, you enter stage 1 of the disease. Each stage of the disease has a duration associated with it. At the end of that duration, you repeat the saving throw. If you succeed, you go down 1 stage. If you fail, you go up 1 stage. If you critically succeed, you go down 2 stages. If you critically fail, you go up 2 stages. That's just largely how diseases work. There is also a downtime activity called Treat Disease, where you make a medicine check to improve the target's roll, their saving throw against the disease. That's just largely how diseases work. You don't need recall knowledge for any of that. If you wanted, you could recall knowledge to get a bonus to medicine checks to treat disease, which is what gives you a bonus to the saving throw against the disease itself.
Could I grant somebody else with this recall knowledge if
you
it were
could grant
successful?
someone else the bonus to the medicine.
Right.
Yes.
Because going from a 0 to a +2, woo!
I was gonna say you have to be trained to treat disease, but it doesn't say, it might be a trained activity, I'm not sure.
Okay. So yeah, just recall knowledge to be better able to help mitigate the disease at the time that it comes up if we do that.
Okay.
We said Darklands lore was the correct?
Yep. With a +3 item bonus. From
Yeah,
all of the notes that are available to you. Treat disease is a trained activity for medicine.
Okay.
You have to be trained in medicine.
It is blind GM.
Yep. Okay. So you are able to piece together some things that might help.
Okay. I don't know medicine, so
Yeah.
Give them tea at this. They need hot compresses here. They need cold compresses here.
Yeah.
Who knows? Okay. And then that's all that Baroom
Okay.
can think of, like, is important, relevant right now about this disease.
Mm-hmm. Keep in mind that you did already learn that the final stage of this disease is death.
First.
Like you just die. So, yeah. Does that affect your decision about whether to proceed in adventuring? Do you want to maybe hunker down and treat some people's disease?
No, I think when we gather as a group, Baroom would be like, no, we got to get better. Just explain the severity of this, and we have to rest. We have to try and get you guys unpurple-eyed.
I think I'm going to change the name of this episode.
I like that.
So,
Well, what sort of time frame are we looking at?
Oh, I did not learn that. It's a
you did not
downtime
learn
activity.
that.
I don't know medicine.
So treat disease is an 8-hour downtime activity.
So we should probably all rest.
And as far as I'm aware, you can only treat one creature. So of the 5 of you who are infected, the 3 of you who are trained in medicine could treat 3 of you. And everyone else is just making the save raw.
Yeah, I know last time we kind of talked about Squire. Can he be or can they be unsummoned? Or
Oh, can they be poofed?
yeah, because that would be a simple, like, basically just reset them.
Squire 2, the Revenger.
Yeah. Well, it's number 2 or number 3. They've died at least once already.
But he tried to kill Squire and have them come back without purple box.
Well, see, they're just they're not just anything, but they are a familiar. Therefore, their quintessence could be dismissed, right?
I'll add it to the list.
Yeah, my patron just sent Squire to me.
It does not appear there are any specific rules for dismissing or uncreating your familiar, but if your familiar dies, you get a new one tomorrow because you're a witch. Normally, the class feature or the feat that gives you a familiar requires, I want to say, a week of downtime to replace your familiar. But witches just get a new one every day.
Hey, good on witches.
Yeah. Witches are the familiar class. So, worst case scenario, you just kill Squire.
Well, Squire just dies from disease.
Or Squire dies from the disease and comes back, yeah.
So Squire's the one we're least concerned with treating.
So Squire has like a little chest burster mushroom Squire pop out?
Maybe you kill Squire before that happens.
Yeah.
I don't. If the disease is getting worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's been a long, rough day, and we probably look into that tomorrow.
Yeah, no. Because I think we're going to be fatigued as fuck if we try an 8-hour stay awake.
Yeah, so just based on where time is lining up, if you sleep for the night, and then when you get up, you spend 8 hours treating disease. At the end of that 8 hours is about when the next save would be.
The phase ends.
Stage 1 would end. Yeah.
Stage 1.
And I just realized that that's actually information you didn't have, but oops.
We know it ends at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a week. It could be a month. We don't know.
It could. Yeah, it could actually be. So is that the plan? Sleep and then treat disease?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So feel free to do your daily preparations because you do sleep through the.
Can Baroom sleep?
Can Baroom sleep?
Yeah, they were fatigued before. They had like a restless night. Like, is the sound gone?
It's gone. The wrong song has ended. And that's
Yeah.
TM. Also, I fucking love Linux because I press right Alt, which is my compose key. I type T M, and it gives me a TM symbol.
We're closing in on 9. Do we want to use the sleeping for the night as a? Okay.
Yep, absolutely. And hey, look, we've been adding 6 minutes. I can just start like soonish. But yeah, let's call sleeping for the night, and then doing all your daily prep, which involves swapping out your spells if desired, restoring some hit points, but that's actually not necessary because I already told you can get them all back. Focus points restored, all that nonsense. Yeah, we'll do that during the break. Grab drink, go bathroom, get food if need be, and we'll be back in 5-10-ish minutes. All right. So I'm gonna hit the BRB button, not the ending stream button. Let's not do that one. Oh, that doesn't end the stream. That goes to the ending stream scene, which I haven't yet used, but I might today. Anyway, we'll be back in a bit. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna continue this when we return. Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
Welcome back. We're still playing Pathfinder, and they're gonna talk about the shit that they're doing while I finish eating.
Yeah. So
We got stuff, and people need stuff.
All right. So P for.
I
party.
think the diplomat's badge should go to Baroom.
Yeah, I was on the same for there if Baroom wants it.
Because you make diplomacy checks for your shameful request, don't you?
I believe so. Yeah, I do. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. Yes, I do. I do make diplomacy checks.
So that could help you with your requests.
Yeah. So. And you don't have to
especially like if we're in High Helm and you make the check for like dwarves, that might really help with your requests.
Yes, yeah. Shameless makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Archie is not trained in acrobatics, so the Jade Cat is useless to him.
Let me just make sure that I am before I say that. I am trained in athletics and acrobatics.
I am trained in acrobatics, not athletics. So, but yeah. The Jade Cat, that makes sense. That's a talisman that if you consume, yeah, it says it's consumable.
It is
Okay.
consumable, yes. And in the morning, I can affix it to my armor.
Um
Oh, I meant to break the tie. I wasn't paying attention. Matt, take a hero point.
Woo!
And I'd be using it soon
Um
to hopefully.
oh, is the letter covered in spores? Is that an item we could keep in, like, could I take that and put it in my inventory? If not, Baroom would just rewrite the letter on not molded paper.
It is something that you can take with you. I'm just trying to figure out how to turn a journal entry into an item.
I was just going to create an item.
I'm trying to figure out what category it goes in.
Um,
Treasure?
I suppose.
Treasure seems to be a catch-all.
yeah. I have a bunch of notes already that have the vague little generic diamond next to them. I assume what that
Okay.
is. That's what that is.
Yeah.
And then the Grim Sand Glass. That's not something that Archie needs because he can already cast Void Warp.
And I
And you're
don't
not
wear
gonna
armor, and I don't use a weapon.
You're not gonna be striking with weapons.
Explorer's clothing is armor. It is armor that uses the unarmored proficiency, but it is armor for the purposes of affixing runes and talismans and spell hearts. But yeah, so just because you don't wear armor doesn't mean you can't get +1 armor.
Yeah, which at some point gonna need to do that because I'm currently like 15 AC. Oh no, 17. That's some dexterity, I guess. Um,
I love the idea of like +1 rune stones for armor being attached to like robes, and like you just have like fringe on your sleeves or something. Like a bedazzled pocket.
Yeah, so if I was gonna take the Sand Glass, it would be a weapon talisman for me because I'm gonna be using the cat thing on my armor.
Yeah, that seems awesome.
I'm gonna have my little Hello Kitty pin. So
Obviously. Okay. And yeah, you you guys are doing daily preparing things. Baroom doesn't have anything like that, so um
Yeah. I think I got actually.
And if you guys are going to start magically curing disease downtiming. Oh, sorry, I don't want to interrupt if everyone's done flip-flopping
No, I was
things.
just doing that real quick. I'm
Okay.
done.
Yeah. Yeah, so if everyone's gonna start curing disease, Baroom would, I think, help Grom. Like, basically, I would like to provide assistance with the information I gathered from the papers to try and make sure at least one person for sure gets their disease cured. So I'd share with you what I knew. I don't know how long that would take, though. Like,
What was that?
we'd said that, like, with the recall knowledge, I could provide a bonus to the treat disease downtime activity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that...
Everyone who attempts it can get that bonus.
Okay. Then I just tell everybody, hey, this is what I found out while y'all are, like, sort of doing your daily preparations. This is everything I know that I learned from what I was doing yesterday. I assumed I had to, like, help one person's check.
Nope.
Cool.
No, you can also do that if you'd like. But aid is a circumstance bonus, so... What?
I could also do what?
Help someone. Like, actually.
Oh, sorry, I forgot help was a capital H word.
Well, it's called aid. But
Okay.
But yeah, but that's also a circumstance bonus, so that's not going to stack.
Right. Okay. Do I have to share my knowledge all 8 hours?
Nope.
Okay. Then share the knowledge, and then I try and identify the item. You guys are busy, basically, so Baroom has to find something to do for 8 hours.
Okay. So who is treating whose disease? So it's Krohan, Grom, and Archie are trained in medicine. Are you each just treating yourselves?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking probably just do ourselves.
Yeah, I was gonna start with myself.
Okay. And everyone's using Baroom's advice?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So thanks to Baroom's advice, everybody gets a -2 circumstance penalty because Baroom critically failed that check.
Hooray.
Cool.
Hooray.
Cool.
There's always a tunnel behind a waterfall. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Is there a treat disease action, or is it
It's
just...
It's a downtime activity.
Oh,
Oh, downtime.
no. Okay. And there's no macro for it, which is annoying.
It's just
It's not.
medicine, right?
It's just a medicine check.
Yeah. And that was... so this is not a secret check. This is actually...
Oh, it's obvious if the disease is treated or not.
Yeah, I mean,
Like the result is evident.
I have to tell you whether, like, what your bonus or penalty on the ensuing check will be. So, like, you're gonna know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because this would grant us a circumstance bonus to our next saving throw.
Correct.
Against the thing. So this isn't actually gonna... Get a...
So Archie, that's a critical failure. Would you like to hero point that?
Yeah. I could right click that.
Yep. Reroll using a hero point.
Oh, there we go. It didn't move the text down. It put the drop down below, but didn't move the box with
yeah,
it.
That's annoying.
That's
Okay.
better.
That is better. That's just a regular failure. Grom, that's
Really?
a critical
Are we-
failure.
I rolled a 3.
Yep.
Oh no. Oh no.
Hopefully you got all the bad rolls out now. So Krohan succeeded.
He just succeeded then?
Yeah, so he gets a +2 to his Fortitude saving throw, which is going to be now against Purple Box. He succeeds.
And I get a -2 circumstance penalty.
Yep, as Archie does not, because you managed to reroll out of the critical failure.
Do I have anything to help with fortitude saves? Hold, please. Spells. Oh. Until the start. So I would have to know exactly when to use guidance to give them a +1 status bonus to the saving throw. I would have to know exactly when the disease was going to do it. So that's not possible.
No.
So it's just
Yeah, we got all the bad rolls out of the way.
So you're level 3 now?
Hey, Archie critically succeeded.
You got all the bad rolls out of the way for everyone.
I've rolled 3 d20s and had a grand total of 7.
Yep.
Is fetch gonna turn into a mushroom rock?
Oh, I need to roll for fetch too.
Yeah.
I'll also Squire on the roof.
yeah.
Fetch
Roll for
succeeds.
I
fire.
assume fetch succeeds.
Squire succeeds. And Grom dies.
Oh fuck. Does a mushroom pop out of Grom?
Uh-huh. I was not prepared for this.
No, me either.
But let me double check that critically failing a disease
Is 2 tiers?
is too, yeah.
This disease only has 3 tiers? What kind of tiers of the kingdom is this?
I clicked click here for the full rules on diseases, and it's like 3 sentences. What the fuck?
I don't think I have anything else that would have helped with that.
I had a +1 to offer you, but you had a 1.
Oh. Okay. I needed the general rules on afflictions. On a critical failure, the stage increases by 2. You are then subjected to the effects listed for the new stage.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Wow. That,
Escalated quickly.
yes, it did.
Do we? Can I just fast forward. I'm assuming if a mushroom creature pops out of Grom, can we just say it's done and that's that? I don't want to fight my dead friend.
Mm-hmm.
We deal with it. I don't want to.
I don't know where to go with this.
Back to High Helm.
Hang on. I am wondering if myceloids are necessarily
Evil?
evil or unintelligent, or if like this is just Grom.
Is it an ancestry?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking up.
I mean, I think it's Foundry. Everything's an ancestry.
Wait.
It reincarnates a 3rd rank spell ritual.
Ah. Well then. Okay. So Grom is not dead. Because the spore-born myceloids purple pox cannot advance past stage 1.
Wait, backing up all the way. Okay.
There is guidance that is in the module and did not get transcribed into the monster stat block.
Okay.
So the monster stat block's purple pox listing should not have shown stage 2 and 3.
Huh.
But because this myceloid was... Yeah. Because the myceloid was created by the Create Myco Guardian ritual, it's essentially infertile.
Okay. That's so fucking... Okay.
I just get a really bad headache.
You just stay at headache for forever.
Sorry, I misread ever so slightly. It is stage 2. You can't advance the last stage.
You can't die.
You can't die instantly from it. But when you reach stage 2, your stupefied becomes 3, and you immediately take 66 poison damage.
Oh.
So you might die anyways.
He's got fucking 40 health.
He's been rolling like shit. He was due for 6 6s.
Yeah.
And yeah, that wouldn't kill you, but it'd fucking hurt. Oh. Okay. Is there like an aesthetic difference to stage tier 2?
Yeah, every single vein in his body is glowing purple.
I don't know what stupefied stage 3 looks like, but that must be terrifying.
I'm gonna attempt to cast a spell.
Oh boy. You are stupefied.
I am stupefied, and so if it's disrupted, I use the casting and nothing happens, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna make the flat check.
So it's DC 8. Yay! Cool. You get to cast it. So that reduces
I'm back
your
to stage 1.
Back to stage 1? Okay, so as you enter stage 1, you take 2d6 poison damage.
Cool.
And your stupefied goes back down to 1.
Ow.
Holy shit.
You just
Also,
had the fix this problem spell in your back pocket?
Twice today.
he literally prepped it this morning just in case people failed.
Mm-hmm. Was not anticipating people being me.
I was gonna say, people's me.
I think this all happens over the course of like 30 seconds, so I'm gonna go find a corner and throw up.
You just throw up purple.
Yeah.
You're like a kid who ate too much cotton candy at the fair, and it's just all
Just
all
pink
neon
vomit.
purple.
Wow.
We do a lot of retching in this campaign. Pathfinder's a big retching game.
But yeah, so I Googled, what did I Google? PC died to purple pox PF2E.
Yeah.
Just see what Reddit thread came up. I got players virtually TPK'd from disease. What did I do wrong? And the replies are, the encounter in that AP has a stipulation. So I just like suddenly like, okay.
Quick, how do I fix this?
Mm-hmm.
That's also like what a fucking way to end a session. Like DM frantically going to like the Reddit and then being like, "Oh yeah, you just got to read that a side tab in the book that's definitely not calling attention to itself that you could easily skip."
Yep.
A+, no notes. A lot of notes actually.
Apparently, in their case, 4 of the PCs got infected with purple pox at the end of combat. 3 of them at stage 1 and 1 at stage 2 because they critically failed their save. And then a day later,
They all just keeled over.
3 of them... No, 2 of them died, and 1 was at stage 2 after the first day. And then they ended the session. What did I do wrong?
No fucking shit.
Yeah. Yeah, one of them that was at stage 1 critically failed and died. Wow. That is... Yeah.
That's rough, buddy. Grom, you're not dead. Your token flickered for a minute, and then you came back into reality.
My chest unburst itself.
Oh, okay.
So if you go straight from onset to stage 2, you only take the 6d6 and not the 3d6 from stage 1, right?
2d6. Yes.
Or 2d6 from stage 1.
Correct.
Okay.
But if you had rolled 36 and then gone down to stage 1 and rolled 9 damage for the 2d6, you would be
I'd be
making
unconscious again. Yeah, no, it would...
Love that for us. Okay. I will say I am very happy that Baroom's -2 did not make a single difference. Nobody failed by 2.
Yeah. I would have felt real fucking bad if Grom had critically failed by 2 or less.
Oh yeah, no. I was paying attention to the numbers the whole time going, did Baroom fuck this over? No.
Okay. That was scary. I thought I was going to have to completely switch gears to suddenly figuring out, okay, how do you res a PC?
We have a way to do it, we just can't use it yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or...
And that, I'll be honest, I was like, hold on to their corpse, and Grom's probably going to come back as a Leshy, which will be a problem for them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to fit in my fancy clothes that are getting made for me.
That's the issue. You go to your final fitting, and you're like, oh, dirty. It's small, small. Um,
But hey, if I do come back as a Leshy and I'm small, then next level I'd be able to ride on fetch.
always the upsides. Okay. Um, you're vomiting in the corner. You're still
Yeah, I think I
super.
got like cold sweats and I'm dry heaving, and it's just a bad time. It's a
Um,
bad time.
we can try this again tomorrow, but we've basically sat around all day, kind of treating wounds. Do we want to continue to travel with Grom stupefied or not?
Yeah, that goes away for most of you. I mean, it's only a DC 6 flat check every time you cast a spell. BD. That is a big. That is a BD.
That is a BD. Yeah, with how I've been rolling, BD.
Ah.
BD.
It worked out fine the last time.
I was prepared to do it again if it failed.
Do you want to cleanse your affliction now? You could just fix it, right?
Nope.
No, because it goes down one, but I also cannot use this to reduce the same affliction a second time.
Mm.
Do we want to identify that staff?
So that's what Baroom would have done over the course of 8
Okay.
hours. So, like, you guys are doing all this. Baroom's tottering around the
Okay.
mushroom. I had 8 hours. I assume
Just
I
in-
had the staff.
Just in case it has a Vex Purple Pox spell.
I'm gonna be so fucking pissed when it does. Do you want me to roll for occultism and?
Yes. It would be whatever spell casting tradition skill you would like, but
Yep.
otherwise, yes. And
One
that is
PM.
secret.
Yes.
Okay. So let me just demystify that.
It doesn't have cleanse affliction
What? The staff of cure purple pox, huh?
on.
Oh, what the fuck? Hang on. There's a better version of that item in
Oh, it has a picture instead of a vague axe.
the... Yep. There we go.
Ah, that's way better.
Right?
Well, because it's not an axe.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
We all have magic boob sticks now. No. Yes. Does Archie use a
Yeah.
wand for their focus, or no? Is it more knives? Or it is Squire, right?
No.
I don't know.
Huh? Loci are only used for what 5e would call expensive material components.
Gotcha.
You cast spells using your magic. You don't need a staff or a wand or anything like that.
Yeah, but yeah, Archie's basically a knife dispensary
Gotcha.
or crossbow bolts.
While wielding the staff, you gain a +2 circumstance bonus to nature checks to identify fungus. So that can stack with your journal's +1 item bonus.
Yeah.
Neat.
I find it odd that the item's giving a circumstance bonus, but okay.
Right? That was my thought. Did you want to collect the stuff in the lab and constitute
Make
an
an
alchemist's
alchemist kit?
lab?
How much room do we
Yeah.
have in the spacious pouch?
So much.
17,
Like so
19
much
bulk.
space.
Yeah, you have
Oh,
19 bulk.
I didn't remember how big the spacious pouch was. Yeah, fucking shove that shit in.
Massive. It's
Uh,
25 bulk that can be carried in that.
I tried to put it in your spacious pouch, but it doesn't seem to have worked. I don't know where it went.
It's in my equipment. I can move it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah, you just gave it to.
Yeah, I gave it to Grom.
Suddenly,
'cause I
Grom
figured
is very slow.
Right. Okay.
Yes, I was very encumbered.
Right.
Not really. I still had enough that it wasn't like over encumbered.
Yeah, you
I
were
was
encumbered, but you weren't max bulk.
Are we gonna hang out another day, or are we thinking?
I mean, at this point, it's been most of a day. Like, it's been 8 hours.
Yeah.
So, like, we've been... There's still time between...
Do you
me
want
to
to put another
sleep.
8 hours in to?
I would like to. I
Yeah,
very,
let's do
very
that.
would like to.
So spend the rest of the day treating disease.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would like to do that.
Would
Having
you like
now
to use the notes to do your own research into how best to treat it, since Baroom's clearly not trustworthy in that regard?
Yeah, let's take some time and look over these notes, because whatever Baroom was telling us to do is probably the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Baroom would hand you all the paperwork that they were like, no, see, it says here do this, and so it's supposed to be cold, hot, cold compress, and blah blah blah.
And that was like a recall knowledge.
Yeah, so it's gonna be
Yeah.
recall knowledge.
Lore check or something.
I forget what you used.
You said a relevant nature skill, or you said it could be nature, or I could argue a lore skill if it was relevant.
Yes, that is. Yes, I remember that.
So I can use nature. Can I use medicine for this?
I suppose. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna make this apply to GM roll. The notes give me a
Plus
Having just the notes from the lab in general.
3.
+3
+3, yeah.
Yeah.
circumstance item.
Circumstance.
Yeah. Okay. So you are able to put together a different set of ideas that should help with treating it.
Oh no, Baroom's like, no. Wait, where did I go wrong? No.
You picked out this one word, which really doesn't mean anything, and shows that that was the most important thing. But that's not the case. That was like a side mention about nothing.
It was one of Skillebrand's like crazy off ramblings.
Skillabram.
It was what did I say?
You said Skillabram. Skibrellon.
Yeah. Skibrellon. It was one of Skibrellon's crazy rants. It had nothing to do with treating it.
Yeah. So go ahead and treat disease with a +2 circumstance.
Treat disease.
You rolled better.
No.
So what's everyone else doing while Grom tends to his own affliction?
So treat disease 8 hours for crafting for a crafting day.
Also 8 hours.
8 hours. So with everything in here, is there enough like raw materials laying around to use this alchemy set to at least start making, well, probably elixir of life?
So yes. Yes. So generally the way that it works is that you basically just turn money into stuff as long as reagents are available. And I would say that in this circumstance, yes, reagents are available for you to turn money into stuff because it's a laboratory.
Okay.
But like in the middle of the Darklands, not so much. If that makes sense.
Can we make a laboratory anywhere now with this alchemist kit?
That gives you the tools, but not the raw materials.
Oh,
So, like-
okay, understood.
Yeah. So if we're in a city, I can buy raw materials to take with us.
Yes.
If we think we're going to be out somewhere.
Yeah.
Cool.
Baroom, what are you doing?
Digging a hole.
Okay.
Gonna
One
bury
hole or several holes?
no. Oh, no. No. Digging one hole to bury Skibrellon.
You got it.
Okay, good.
All right. Okay. So there is a thick blanket of fungi that you need to get through to get to any kind of ground, and there does seem to be an appreciable layer of loam that they used as their base.
I've broken down.
Yeah. Archie, go ahead and give me a crafting check as you start to craft. If I recall correctly, this crafting check will... Like, you don't have to immediately... You don't have to continue... Like, you can interrupt your time, right? Yeah, if the downtime days you spend are interrupted, you can return to finish the item later, continuing where you left off. But it would be with the same crafting check.
Yeah. The only other one would be I don't know how much actual coinage we have with us right now.
Mm.
I have 7 silver and 5 copper.
Yeah.
I have 2 silver.
Wow.
So maybe not. We have basically no coin. We have like a gold and a half between all of us.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm so wealthy.
Oh, but okay. Hold off for now. But
Oh no.
Where did they go?
Where'd they go?
ah,
Aren. Oh dear. Jordan is very not visible right now. Not that one. That one. Just gonna make that bigger and drag that over so that we can see Jordan in the meantime.
yeah. Next time we're in town, probably like have to see like getting some raw crafting materials that or spend downtime in town to make things.
Hmm. I also have to move Matt. So Elixir of Life costs 3 gold. You're level 3. Okay. So you have to put up 1.5 gold to start the craft. And then you either spend the rest of it to finish it out, or you spend days building money towards its full value.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't even have the 1.5.
Yeah, not right now. Do we have the daily income table? Is that in Foundry somewhere?
It's a good fucking question. If you... damn.
Oh,
If you go to the earn income downtime activity, that has the table in it.
okay. I need to put that on my.
Welcome back, Aren.
Hi. Remind
Everything
me.
okay over there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just kicked my
Okay.
computer.
You
Okay.
kicked your computer?
Mm-hmm.
You
I
shouldn't
was
do that.
excited. I was excited. I was enjoying the session. I swung my feet, and then
Okay.
I turned the power. I hit the power button with my toe.
Proud of
Asked
you.
me to do it again by accident. Couldn't in a million years.
Okay. So you spend the rest of the day. You whittle away the rest of the day. Krohan becomes increasingly agitated.
Yep.
Sure, because
Valid.
he succeeded on curing his disease
Accurate.
and didn't have to puke out a bunch of spores that had multiplied in my gut.
More like multiplied in your veins, but sure.
All right.
I should deduct food for today. So I just need to use it twice.
Okay.
There's a use rations button.
I just pop it into chat and there's a button that comes up that says use.
Okay.
I mean, it's been 4 days now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Roughly.
It gets me to use some more. I've been marking off for me and for Archie.
Hmm.
Oh, you don't even have to pop in the chat. You just open it up and there's a use button.
Oh, neat.
Exhausted rations.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, because you have multiple piles of rations.
Mm-hmm. And now I have most of 3 piles of rations.
I still have 2, which are like the emergency. We're running out of food.
Hmm. Krohan has 2 weeks of food, or started with 2 weeks of food, so he's still got
Baroom,
10 person days.
Baroom can find food for people.
Yep.
And now that they're not fatigued, they are allowed to use the. Oh no, the
Forage.
subsist the down no subsist is a downtime activity.
Yes.
Is it a feat?
Okay, so we sleep.
You
Again.
sleep. Again. Congratulations. Feel free to prepare new spells. What?
Don't need 2
what-
preparations of Cleanse Affliction for tomorrow because I'm the only one afflicted.
What a fucking... Actually, you can't cast Cleanse Affliction on yourself again.
Oh, right, fair. Don't need any casts of...
Yep. Yeah, because Cleanse Affliction can only affect a given affliction once. Regardless of how it progresses.
One way or another, we're leaving tomorrow.
Does that make Krohan feel better or no?
I mean, probably not noticeably. Probably, but he's still itching to get moving.
Okay, cool. Down the crevasse.
Fissure.
Down the fissure.
Interesting.
I would also like to take some time before sleeping to treat my wounds, my many wounds.
Oh no.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want me to roll for it?
No, not even a little bit.
What happened
Okay. So,
I lost my button.
what button?
I had a treat wounds button. I don't know where it went.
Yeah, I accidentally deleted the macro. Fortunately, it's still in the macros compendium. So if you control space, treat wounds, you can find the macro, drag it to your bar again. I accidentally deleted it, but I re-imported it, so it's okay.
Wow.
Listen,
I
we're
was
all
trying to
having a
remove
good
it from the bar, and when you right click, there's remove macro and delete macro is the one that has the trash can next to it. So I'm like, oh, I want the trash can because I want it off of my bar.
day. And I kicked the power button with my toe. You know,
Right.
it happens to us all.
Exactly. Thanks for understanding. Okay. So, in the morning, whatever
Passes for
After
that.
we sleep.
passes for a morning. Yeah. After you sleep, yes. You head out. Krohan continues guiding with the... Honestly, he doesn't even guide with the armor shard. He heads to the place where the fissure was. And it's just a fucking carpet of mushrooms. And he tells you, this is where I dropped it. And he just sort of gestures at the ground.
The text metal?
No.
No.
Wait, I thought
Okay.
you crit succeeded.
Huh?
I rolled for treating disease. I haven't rolled
Yeah.
for actually getting rid of the disease.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah, that'll be
That'll
like...
happen later today.
Yeah, that'll happen later today. Also, you have no idea how long the duration of stage 2 is, because each stage has its own duration. You were just like, no, I'm not. I'm going back to stage 1, so I can... No.
If I know now when stage 1 ends, having visually seen it, can I guidance at
No.
the instant? Can I just start continually casting guidance
You can, but
around the right time?
you... Absolutely. And then if you miss by more than 6 seconds, Grom becomes immune to guidance for an hour.
Good point. All right. So I roll a what? A 1d60 and hope I get the correct minute?
1d600?
Oh, 1d... Fair. Valid. Yeah.
Pick a number.
Get that number in your head, June. Do it. It's the number, fuck you.
Got it. I have a number.
1d600.
So I'm just gonna put. Okay, I was going to secretly, like, I was just going to put a whisper with the number and then reveal it after you rolled. But the
Oh,
number was
sorry.
the number was 437.
Oh, it wasn't 420? Boo.
No.
469? Okay.
So detect metal does not ping here. The interesting thing about this particular spot is that the carpet of fungus kind of sags as you walk on it.
Grom,
I want to
you
get to a
can
very
talk to plants,
non-saggy
right?
spot, like a very, very firm.
Yep.
Grom, you can talk to plants, right?
Kind of. What is that? Plant empathy. I can ask questions of and receive answers from, and use the diplomacy skill with plants and fungus.
Nice.
So I'm gonna find a spot that isn't sagging, and kind of like address the fungus ahead of me where it would start to sag.
Okay.
I just ask, what's beneath you?
Hole.
Big hole?
Big hole.
The crevasse is still here. It's just
Just to clarify,
overgrown.
I also want to make sure that it's not gonna say like, it, father, the leader. The fact that it just says whole, A plus. I'm like, we're gonna peel this back, and a fucking crater worm's gonna have the large one gonna jump out. Baroom's gonna try and encourage the hyphae to scooch apart to make a medium-sized hole for us all to uh, uh, the verb. It's not cravat, spelunk down. I was gonna say crevasse down, but that's not a verb.
Um,
And it's a fissure anyways.
I'm sorry. You're going to convince them?
I would like to try to not rip apart hyphae and rip a hole in this because Baroom's very conflicted right now. Can I like kind of just move them apart, untangle them? I untangled a door, or I untangled hyphae to make a door. Can I untangle these to make a hole?
I suppose you could try
Without killing
to
them?
do that with a considerable amount of time, yes.
Okay, we don't have a considerable amount of time.
I mean, I'm okay with taking some time to do this. I would like to not be stupefied when we go down the hole.
Is there a thin spot where I can make a hole? Or at the edges of the fissure, is it full carpet the whole way?
It is full carpet the whole way.
Okay.
But there's probably a thin spot,
Okay.
and I think you find it. Like, yes.
Cool.
I'm not gonna make you roll shit.
No.
But it is gonna take quite a fucking while to disentangle this, such that
Nah.
you make a large enough hole to get through without killing fungi.
Baroom doesn't.
I'm thinking on the order of hours.
Yes, I know. I'm willing to do that if Jordan, you want to wait for, like the opportunity to try and roll a fortitude save.
Rom does not feel good about trying to climb down this hole while diseased.
Yeah.
Jordan knows that Grom has the Featherfall spell prepared and don't want to waste it in case someone falls. And I go, failure.
But yeah, so I'm willing then, if we're already trying to destupefy, I'm willing to take the time. But otherwise,
Okay.
I would just like ask, Archie of the knives to just blitz a hole in it, and Baroom would like cover their eyes.
Yeah. The other one is this, when we get, either before we go down at least, or if we want to like make a smaller hole, we could send Squire through.
Squire's tiny?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I start working on the hole, at a certain point, I will make it tiny.
Yeah.
I'm working my way up to medium, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Presumably, you're
Well,
working your way up to a medium creature can squeeze through.
Yeah, that's the minimum amount required.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Grom has the opportunity to make a fortitude save.
Yeah.
I don't need to roleplay that. I'm just saying what I'm describing. And
Yeah. And
okay.
Archie can help Baroom maybe try to get a little bit faster, but
Krohan paces, and there's a definite desire to just slash and burn in his eyes.
agreed.
He is
Almost at the victory. He's almost at his own salvation.
he is silent as you work, but there is you feel a pressure burning from his eyes.
Yeah. Baroom's not convinced that Skibrellon was wrong. Crazy. But Baroom's not convinced they were wrong and is like back in the Underdark, just like really struggling right now with the idea that they're killing their kin functionally.
Yep. Okay,
So
after...
honestly, if Krohan's glares get too much, Baroom would stop, turn around, and like absolutely glare dead back. Just an instant and go back to it. But like if I just feel like a and then
Okay. He's certainly like taken aback at... I don't even know how you glare. Like, I know that you use like big beads of dew to
water to look sad.
To look sad. How do you glare?
I think my mushroom cap comes down ever so slightly.
You give the angry eyes.
It's not even angry eyes. It's just one straight
brow.
line, and you don't ever see that because it's usually just like a kind of almost like a freaking Smurf swoop of a hat, like a.
Yeah. Okay. So after about half an hour, you make a hole large enough for Squire to get through. Comfortably. Like Squire probably could have squeezed through after like 10 minutes of disentangling a few of these hyphae, which, by the way, are surprisingly long. Like, I don't know if you've ever had like a bag of assorted cables that has just been shoved in the back of a drawer, and you've had to like you've got like a 20-foot fucking USB cable you have to fish through every other cable.
That's all my cables.
Great. But like just imagine this is just hundreds that you're disentangling, and some of them are 22 gauge and others are 8 gauge.
I'm not opposed to like snipping some, just only non-lethal.
Right. Yeah. Got it. So after some time, Squire's able to get through, and Archie, you send him down and just have him explore?
Yeah, not like not sending him down to map out the entire thing, but just kind of like, hey, there's not like a big void that we're gonna move too much and just fall into a void.
Okay.
And just if there's anything noteworthy kind of in the maybe like a 100 to 200 feet of where we're at.
Okay. Well, the first thing that they notice is that this tunnel is 25 feet in diameter, roughly uniform in width, and descends for hundreds of feet, and not in a straight line. The carpet of mushrooms have hyphae that actually extend about half the distance. Like, they're just going for hundreds of feet. All said, after going a bit of a distance so that they can see around the bend, it goes down about 600 feet, and the hyphae extend 300 feet down. And then it's just...
But it doesn't go straight. Like, if one were to fall, you wouldn't fall 600. It bends, and like there's a sort of plateau-y...
You would fall 600 feet, but you'd bounce off walls occasionally.
Okay.
Like it's like gentle slopes that are enough to occlude any path down.
So are any of the slopes enough you could take a break halfway down on? Okay.
No, at best you're getting like an 80-degree angle. Instead of a vertical 90.
Okay.
We don't have that much rope.
Oh,
I think
how
we
much?
climbed the hyphy down.
How much rope do you have?
How much does Grom have?
Well, let's see. I have my rope of ear plugging.
I have
That's
50 feet.
48.75 feet.
Is that the only rope you have?
The climbing kit each include rope.
Okay.
I have 2 of those.
Yeah. So 150. I have a climbing kit and a length of rope, so that's 100 feet. And I got the climbing bolts, which is another 50.
Krahan's got 50 feet of rope.
That gets us halfway.
Okay, yeah.
So if we could hang on to the hyphy, if it is strong enough to support weight.
I mean, some of them, you said some of them are super skinny and some of them are absolutely well thick.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are like suspension cable thickness.
Yeah.
And the ones that reach 300 feet down at least start that thick and taper.
So, yeah, that seems reasonable. Keep making a hole and then prepare everyone to start climbing down hyphy.
Okay.
Now, someone has to ask the question. Once we get to the bottom, how do we get back up?
You leave the rope behind?
Sure, but if we're using the hyphae, which aren't really attached to like the walls or anything, right? They're like dangling.
Yeah, if
To
we
get
can
down
get through this hole to a hyphy, we can all sort of Tarzan to the correct ones. And I'm picturing more of a mat or like a nest of hyphy going down rather than like 6 distinct cables that are
Correct.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like cartoon like vines hanging from trees, just enough that you could get tangled and caught in them.
And none of this was here when Krohan was here.
Correct. This was a narrow fissure that I couldn't fit down. It was not.
It's open.
It was not a huge tunnel.
And it's a roughly circular tunnel?
Roughly circular.
Does your pauldron say go down?
Yep.
And I think down we go. After Baroom makes a hole and Grom hopefully makes a fortitude save.
Yeah, Grom, make a fortitude save.
And what's the bonus? Is that +2?
Yes, +2 for succeeding on treat disease.
You didn't crit succeed?
Did not crit succeed on the treat disease.
Ooh.
That's a success.
Oh,
Good job.
my heart was not ready for you to fail.
Not a
Mine either.
not a critical success. Okay. So after 7-8 hours, Baroom, you're able to get it large enough that you can comfortably fit through, which says to you that the dwarves can probably squeeze their mass through the hole.
Perfect.
What order would you like to climb down?
Baroom, I think, would go first.
Okay.
They made the hole. They'll go in the hole first.
Sure. Okay. Okay. So with the marching order past Baroom.
I'll go next. If Rohan's not jumping to go, then I'll go next.
I think Krohan probably would be jumping to go next. So Baroom, Krohan, Grom, Archie. Fetch.
I was just looking to see how does his burrow work. Can he just like burrow through the wall?
Unless
Really slow.
Unless the burrow ability specifies otherwise, it does not allow you to burrow through solid stone.
I don't know if it specifies or not. It just says burrow.
I do not believe that it does.
Cool. Yeah, Fetch will come up the rear.
Okay. So, for the first 300 feet, it's actually a really easy climb. The walls are pitted in a very uniform kind of way that give you plenty of footholds as you climb down the plentiful hyphae. And so just there's so much to hang on to, so many places to put your feet and catch your breath, and it's real easy. Once you get to the end of that 300 feet, how do you proceed?
Tie off the first rope.
To a hyphae?
We probably would have wanted to connect all the ropes together.
While we
While
were
we were
on
up top.
solid ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that way we have one continuous rope, and we're not trying to do that down here.
Yeah.
Just tying
then-
one rope is probably. Oh, you have the we would have tied. Can we have tied them to the rope that's on the bolt?
No, because the bolt has it has twine wrapped around the bolt itself that expands into a rope once it's used.
Yeah, the bolt's kind of a oh shit, we need some form of backup.
Yeah.
But
Do you not have
Archie has
300 feet of rope between you?
Baroom has 50.
Okay, I guess I
Archie
have
has
just
a-
under. I have just under 150.
Okay.
and Archie has 100.
Okay, so Krohan's got
And
50,
Krohan
Baroom's
has
got
50.
50, Archie's got 100, Grom has over 100. So yeah, you've got more than 300 feet of rope without using the
We don't
climbing
have
bolt.
to use the bolt.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're able to use your ropes, and then a climbing kit has pythons and a hammer.
Yeah, so if we want to secure our rope to a wall, basically you climb up the rope and then climb onto a hyphae, we could.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
say let's do that.
Yeah, might be a little more secure in the stone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Climbing kits allow you to attach yourself to the wall you're climbing, moving half as quickly as usual, but letting you attempt a DC 5 flat check whenever you critically fail to prevent a fall. A single kit has only enough materials for one climber. Each climber needs their own kit. If you wear your climbing kit, you can access it as part of a climb action. So, like, that's a thing that you can do as you're climbing down. And the reason that's relevant is that now that you're on a rope and not the hyphae, the plentiful hyphae that, they're multiple, so you can like wrap one around your arm as you use another to climb down. There's actually a risk of an appreciable risk of falling. And it basically comes down to a single athletics check that you're going to make, and we'll just use that to determine the full result of your individual climbing down. So let's start with Baroom. are you using a climbing kit the whole time?
I don't own one.
Okay.
If someone could
You
loan
can
me
use one of mine.
Great. So I just roll athletics.
Yes. I believe
And then
yes.
if I
athletics.
fail,
So on a failure, you just fail to move. On a critical failure, you fall.
but then while wearing the climbing kit, I have.
You can make a DC 5 flat check to not. Yeah.
Cool.
So with the climbing kit, by moving at half speed, you have an 80% chance to negate a critical failure.
Fantastic. And it's public, right? We all know
Yep.
if I.
Yeah, we all know if you fall. So that's a regular failure.
Fantastic. Baroom touches not mushroom.
I'm sorry.
Instantly just
You have a -1?
to athletics? Yes.
Okay.
Is it physically possible for me to succeed?
If you roll a 20.
Excellent.
Guide yourself.
I don't
mean-
know that.
So the hilarious thing is that does not actually increase their chance of success because
Oh, cool.
they currently need the +1 level of success from rolling a 20 to succeed. So you get to the last 50 feet of the tunnel, so you can see like you're 50 feet above the ground, and you can't get a foothold anymore. The walls have gone smooth and slick with moisture, and you lack the skill to safely repel. You lack the skill to safely repel from here.
Yep, Baroom's just frozen. I don't have a means of like unless I can tie the rope around myself and everyone can lower me. Like that's that. I'm a nerd. I shouldn't be climbing. Can fetch carry me or no? Not till next level.
Not till next level. You cannot ride fetch until
I
next
can't
level.
ride fetch. That's different.
But also, fetch isn't that strong.
Yeah. But also, there's 4 people behind you on this rope, because I'm assuming you're not just waiting for one person to go all the way down and then, like,
No.
I'm assuming you're like 20 feet apart.
Yep. Or something reasonable.
Yeah, something reasonable. And so Baroom's just holding everyone up. Thoughts?
The only thought that occurs to me is like jump and feather fall. Pull a waterfall that Grom did.
Can we see if we make it to this point before I would have needed to use it?
Fair. Did everybody get to Baroom's level?
So this is actually the only part where you actually need to roll.
Okay.
So yes, everyone is able to get at least that far because of the plentiful footholds.
Okay.
You want to save the feather fall for a crit failure.
Like we're 50 feet up, so if we can all get to that point, like a fall isn't going to be deadly at that point. I was more worried about falling from 300 feet.
Yeah.
And needing it, but if we can all get here relatively easily, then that's fine. I can tell you to just jump and I'll catch you.
We could all jump, right? That's how it works.
No. Gentle landing targets a creature. It's not even heightenable for more creatures. Wow.
Wait. That's not even like boo. It got worse.
Pathfinder spellcasters are not gods like they are in
I know.
D&D.
I am aware. But like
Which is why I'm very hesitant to just like throw it because like it is a one person
Yes.
save a life, and
The fact
like,
that it's not heightenable sucks.
Yeah, it should be heightenable for extra targets.
I prepped it in case of emergency.
Yeah. Well, the
I'm
emergency.
scared. Is that the emergency? I'm scared.
So the other thing is, Archie only has a +4, so I don't know how well he is. I'm probably also gonna have to roll really high.
You're gonna have to roll really
But-
high, but at least it's fucking possible. Like
Yeah.
you don't need a 20.
I have a chance, so I'm good with Baroom getting the feather fall.
Zoom cut you out, but we got it.
It was the head motion, wasn't it?
It was,
Mhm.
and there was just a hint of
It Zoom is Baroom biased because
Yeah.
Baroom's high pitched tone gets
Yeah.
cut out a lot.
Okay, so Baroom hops down and falls gently. So let's keep rolling down the line. So Krohan, that's a regular failure. That's a success.
Rohan's also stuck. Damn it, never mind. It's not so easy, is it?
All right.
Oh wait, never mind, you're just climbing. Fuck off.
Grom. Regular failure. Regular failure.
Yes.
Critical
Ouch.
failure. So
DC5
you get a
flat
DC5 flat check from the climber's kit.
That's on this thing here. I can hit this button.
Okay.
Cool.
So you completely lose your hold, but fortunately you were smart enough to affix your D-ring to the wall, so you only fall 5 feet and kind of dangle awkwardly before you can grab the rope again. Okay, don't do that.
Better.
And then you
And do
success.
that instead.
And you do that instead. All right, Archie.
All right. Archie gets down there and
Regular failure. Regular failure. This is gonna take forever. Success!
I
right.
appreciate the fact that everybody else struggled.
Fetch. Fetch is trained in athletics, right? Yeah.
Fail.
Regular failure. Does Fetch have a climbing kit? Doesn't matter. That's a success.
Fetch does not have a climbing kit.
Okay.
Otherwise, Fetch becomes a projectile.
Otherwise, Fetch becomes a projectile.
Okay. All right. Everyone made it.
See?
down.
Not so
Congratulations.
easy.
So, now that you are at the bottom, you find yourselves in a much more natural-looking tunnel that is flat. It's more not perfectly fucking circular. It's a weird shape, which is comforting.
It's a cave shape.
It's a cave shape, but it's a horizontal, largely, tunnel that slopes slightly downwards in one direction, slightly upwards in the other direction. And right here, there is a shallow pool that is now completely dry. But it looks like a place where water used to drip.
So it's like a chimney somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, the shaft you just came down.
Yeah, the shaft we came down
Yeah.
was like a chimney, and okay.
And Krohan is able to point in a particular direction, which is the one that slopes slightly down.
Is
Do
there
we
anything
wanna-
like usually pits would have like shit at the bottom of them? It's just the empty dry pool and there's no objects, no rocks, no pebbles, no
You talking literal and figurative shit?
guano, yeah.
Go ahead and make a survival check.
I didn't know if it was supposed to be blind jam or not.
I don't either.
It's just the easier default.
Yeah. So you are able to just sort of point out in this cave tunnel area that there are faint scratches in the floor left by clawed feet. And the upper half of this tunnel has these sort of even but undulating gouges, as if a scaled creature dragged itself across the ceiling.
I think okay. I point that out to everybody. Oh, yes, also.
Also, everyone notices this. This whole area just smells unpleasant. Like, just not quite BO, but it smells like an unpleasant person.
Okay.
So you head down this tunnel, literally down. And yes, Matt?
I was gonna say, do we want to leave our rope there, or do we want to bring it down?
It's going to be real difficult to bring it down if we stuck
Squire
it to the
can
wall
go
with.
up. Squire can go up and untie it.
Question is, can Squire go up and retie it? Like, I know that they have manual dexterity, but 300 feet of rope weighs a lot.
I was going to say, can we get 1/50th? Or, sorry, not 1.
Yeah, I think it would have to be like 50 feet, come down, get 50. Like, it will be a very slow process going back up.
You could just remove the bottom 50 feet.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be remarkable at all.
Right.
Like, for purposes of not being noticed by whatever's got clawed feet around here, I don't dislike the idea of pulling the bottommost 50 feet off so that a patrol of clawed things don't come by and go, look, there's a rope. I don't mind that idea.
Yeah.
Squire can go up, untie the bottommost one, just so we have 50
Could we
feet
just
of rope.
tie the bottom of the 50 feet up 50
Off
feet?
somewhere?
Ooh.
So that Squire can just if we have to leave in a hurry.
Yeah, Squire can just go up 100 feet and undo a knot, and
a rope will drop. Yeah. I like that idea the most. That makes me okay. I like that.
Yeah, just put it up so it's dangling. Just have like a quick pull and it'll fall.
I dig
Cool.
it. That
That
is a fantastic idea. I love it. Okay.
Yeah, since there were no footholds in that last 50 feet, it's probably not python to the wall.
Right.
It's more of a controlled rappel than a climb.
Yeah, and did it use up the climbing kits then? Or like
climbing kits are not consumable.
Oh, okay.
You can choose to consume them, though, I think. You, the GM. So, like, my writing kit has my writing kit has a note that, like,
at my discretion, you will have used it enough that you need to buy a new one.
if you've written a large amount, you can refill your kit with extra ink and paper. I'm assuming that other kits have a similar discretionary.
Climbing kit says nothing about consuming it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The writing kit sort of had, like, a vague. It felt like.
I mean, writing kits literally have consumables. Like, it's got paper and ink, I assume, and once you use them,
you don't.
You
Yeah.
can.
It does say it has a dozen of those, a dozen pitons. So if we were rationing them out.
Yeah.
Same with my thieves toolkit. I have replacement picks, so I had assumed. I hadn't thought about checking the notes. So whatever. Anyways.
So you head down this tunnel, and after only about 10 minutes walking down this tunnel, it explodes open into a massive cavern.
When you say explodes, do you mean like an explosion?
No.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
no. I'm using evocative language to express extremeness, I suppose.
Vastness.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to have been doing detect metal. That doesn't ping anything, I assume.
It does not.
Okay.
This cavern arches high overhead and stretches nearly a quarter mile across, which you can see because you have dark vision. And it makes the way dark vision works in Pathfinder makes sense. Infinite distance is how that would function. Yeah. There are details about this place. Pathfinder doesn't do read aloud text, so I kind of just like scan the description that it gives me to try to find details, but
And filter out spoilers.
yeah. But I'm just gonna ignore that and go with my memory of the area. So as you're standing at the entrance to this cave, the floor of the cave slopes down rather gently ahead of you. And in sort of the center of the cavern, there is this massive plateau of rock about 100 feet across and 50 feet tall. I guess that's not really massive as far as plateaus go, but there's a plateau of rock in the middle, and it is ringed by faintly glowing shattered orbs that are about 5 feet in diameter, but like they're shattered, like they're in chunks, but you can tell based on the chunks that they were once orbs, and they're just still glowing. All throughout the lower area of the cavern is heaps of what are clearly rubble that seems to have been cleared and just shoved into piles. Like, this whole area used to be full of stone structures, like made of cinder blocks, bricks, large stone chunks that have been destroyed and then swept away.
Swept.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
there a pile of refuse?
There are piles.
Piles of refuse.
Piles,
okay.
Several piles, yeah. But they're just like at the edges of this lower section. To your right and up, so it slopes upwards to your right, there are these cliffs, and then the slope switchbacks up the cliffs, and standing on this terraced sort of corner of the cavern are much more intact looking buildings. There are a few roofs caved in, and a few buildings have just completely collapsed, but those seem to have just collapsed in place and not been swept away. And then most of the structures here are actually intact with damage. At the far end of the cavern, what you can see past the plateau, which obscures a decent amount of your vision, you can see that there is a massive gaping hole in the ground.
Not like our 20-30 foot fissure we came down.
No, massive. I can get a... Oh, Jesus, that is big. About 100 feet across.
The hole?
The hole, yeah. Like I said, massive.
We're not spelunking down that, guys.
No. on the sides of the plateau, you can see, even from a distance, it's like 500 feet from you. Even from this distance, you can see that there are metal rings bolted to it in pairs. Each pair is about 3 feet apart. And then the pairs themselves are about 10 feet from one another.
Mm-hmm.
Restrained in one of these pairs is a roughly human-sized reptilian humanoid.
Oh.
And that's where we're going to end it today.
What a word picture.
Thank you.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Lot to take in and a lot to deal with next time on Pathfinder.
I'm really proud of you for saying Pathfinder.
Thank you. I almost didn't. It became a phrase. It was muscle memory.
Yeah.
It was a muscle memory, and now I get to unlearn it. Next time on Pathfinder doesn't sound amazing. Next time on Sky King's Tomb.
Next time on Not Dungeons and Dragons.
Right. Next time we don't play Dungeons and Dragons.
We haven't for a while.
Yeah. I mean, Jordan and Matt and I played Dungeons and Dragons for a while. Because Dark Souls.
Oh, I didn't think that counted.
I think by the end it was very much not Dungeons and Dragons.
I thought, okay, fair enough. I was like, I don't know what level it cut off at, but at a certain point.
I don't know when I would say it was more Dark Souls than Dungeons and Dragons, but we made it to level 20 and it was emphatically more Dark Souls than Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. But yeah, so that is...
that is the purple box.
We finished Purple Pox, and now we got to the original name of the episode. So next episode we'll have that name. Killing it.
It's because Jordan. It's because Grom.
It's because Grom
died.
Sort of. In another timeline, Grom died. Wow.
That derailed a good 30 minutes.
Yeah.
How do we not?
Yeah.
Could you not?
Could you don't?
Could you maybe not?
Could you maybe don't? Okay, so that's going to be it for us today. If you're watching us on Twitch, check us out on YouTube. You can watch all the episodes there. I tried to get them up on YouTube 24 hours after 24 hours after we started streaming on Twitch, which I don't actually know is what the affiliate agreement says, but it says 24 hours afterwards. And I'm like, is it 24 hours after the start or 24 hours after the end? I don't know, because you could just seek to the last hour of the YouTube video, and now you're watching it only 21 hours after it was live on Twitch. Anyway, yeah, if you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, if you're watching us on YouTube, check us out on Twitch. We're live every Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and that's it. That's the only time we stream, because I don't have the emotional fortitude to run multiple games right now. And that might change in the future, but no promises. Either way, you should join our Discord. You can go to discord.thegildedtroll.tv. Yeah, screw you, Discord fucking level 3 boost. I can make my own fucking vanity URL, because I am an HTTP wizard. And by that I mean I bought a domain on Namecheap 3 years ago and realized that I can set up a subdomain redirect. So yeah, discord.thegildedtroll.tv if you want to join our Discord. And that's it, right? Those are the 3 plugs. I don't have anything.
That's it.
That's it.
I used to plug Instagram, but we don't have one of those anymore. Steph took it and then
We don't
renamed
plug
it.
the other place.
Steph actually took the Gilded Troll Instagram account and then just renamed the account to like her new handle, and she's like, okay, I guess it mostly just had Samus pictures anyway.
Yeah.
And I used to do the podcast thing, but like 4 people listened to those, and it was actually a lot of work for me to do. So don't do that anymore.
No.
So yeah, that's it. Yeah, thanks for being here. I'm gonna hit the ending stream button. The scene does not have our video streams in it like it's supposed to. But actually, you know what? I'm gonna grab these. So, oops, I accidentally went to starting soon for a second. So we're gonna go to stream ending, which doesn't have audio, so they'll be able to see us and not hear us. And then once we're there, I'll stop the stream, because otherwise they just get like, and it ends. So thanks for being here, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.